Hello and welcome to the second MFL Ramble of the day. This one is going to be a little bit different. It's a tactics special. And we've finally got some of the guests in. We have got Kev Hurd in there. He's sitting in a lovely hotel having a nice Bacardi and Coke. I've got Diet Coke as well. No Bacardi in this one. And I'm assuming the US, as it's the middle of the afternoon, have no booze in their drinks. But we are joined so far by Sid. Hello, sir. How are you?
Doing well, David. Thanks for having me on, and looking forward to this one.
Nice, yeah. And for the first time on a Ramble, I haven't actually seen you on any shows. Maybe you were on one of the Wendirks in the past. We've got Brian, who goes by Okyeahsure. And I've in my mind, I was saying this earlier to Laird, I'm sure I've seen Okyeahsure somewhere before. I don't know whether you used to play DFS and I've seen it on leaderboards or whether it's so rare and you've seen that. I don't know where, but I just recognize that name somewhere.
Yeah, it's rather generic, so maybe that's what it was. But no, I haven't done so rare. I literally just spit this out when I was signing up and didn't expect it was going to be on a podcast, but here we are.
Yeah, I'm going with Brian tonight.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay, it's probably confusing because I go by Brian, but yeah. So I basically just got on. I think basically my good friend Matt something balling. He's got Black One SDC. He's he's been tapped into interesting sports games that we might want to get into. He knows I get into them as well. So they are very addictive. So when he reached out to me last year and was like, "Hey, you should try this," I was like, "Oh, I know this is going to suck me in." He's always got good stuff. And I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure." So I just threw it out there.
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah, I've spoken about it plenty before, but I remember the day that I'd asked the question, "Does anybody play MFL?" on a Discord? And a couple of people said, "Yeah, we speak about it literally every day." And I signed up. I think Kev signed up within that day as well. And before you know it, we had a separate Discord channel and it became part of our lives. And over a year down the line now, it's probably an even bigger part of our lives now than it's ever been. But it's just insane. Right. But yeah, the tactics and everything. But right, before we move on, sorry if we're a little bit late kicking off. Technical difficulties and blame me.
I was going to say. Right here.
Yeah, we've got a few people in the chat so far. We've got Laird was first on the podium. I don't know whether he's still around or whether he's just come back. And I hope your nose is okay, Laird. Started bleeding while we were recording the lunchtime ramble today. We have got Andrew Q in. Andrew Q, you're a man of the people. You're here in every stream. I see you in every stream. You're everywhere. Got James in here. Hello, sir. How are you? Got Big Miss K. Jimbo. Hello, sir. Hoodwink needs to get the rev share right now. We've traded evening streams is Kev's domain while he's working, so we've got Kev this evening. We've switched them out. Ryan Walter, SLD, Rory, loads of go. Gully.worlds, Dan LFC, Ron John. Hello, Ron John. How are you, sir? Wow, got everyone here, and we have got Hoodwink. He's finally appeared. Yeah, so yeah, we've got a full crew. Hopefully, Bob will be joining us as well. If anyone actually paid any close attention to the thumbnail, it did have Bob in there. Reasonably good likeness of Sid, Brian, and Bob. I thought that the image did Kev a few favours, made him look a little bit younger and sort of, quite good. But that probably makes up for the fact that AI has been absolutely screwing him, making him look like a short predator for the last few ones we did. For me, it made me look like I was having some sort of face swap, but the image was so good on the rest of them that I couldn't change it. I couldn't work out a way, so we went with that. But it was meant to be us around a round table, looking in on a little mini football match. But yeah, so anyway, just about worked. But this evening, yeah, it's difficult when we've got like multiple people on stream games, but we'll definitely be putting some of the big ones on later on. Obviously there's going to be games going on in the background, and if anybody's got an absolutely monstrous game, feel free to tell us and we'll put that on. Like I'm talking about like top versus second sort of thing, but obviously we'll be streaming other games and we'll be watching some of the diamond games later on. But we're here to talk about tactics, and I feel like I'm blessed. I've got Kev Hurd. Like Kev's always there when I need sort of like things aren't going right, and I bounce a few ideas off him. I'll ask him to set the retro degens up and set way, and he's always been a massive help to me. We've got Sid, who runs shitloads of friendlies as well. Brian, I don't know you. This is the first time I'm meeting you, but I hear that you're a tactical genius as well. And then hopefully we'll get Bob on later, and we all know Bob likes a friendly or two. So I guess my first question is, how has this engine been for you? And it seems a bit of a weird one because we're right at the end of it, but is it an engine that you'll be glad to see the back of, or is it one that sort of suited your agencies? Start with you, Kev. How are you, sir?
Well, mixed season for me. We were obviously having a chat pre-stream, and yeah, it's all over the place for my teams. So as of last night, I had 3 unbeaten teams in the league after 15. 3 teams do incredibly well, but the D-Gens in silver, I just cannot get them to win a game. I'm really, really struggling. I've struggled in the cups. The Amigos in gold have been up and down. Me, Sid, and Bob are having a good chat about that. So yeah, it's proper mixed bag. Some things are working amazing, other things aren't working at all. So yeah.
So Sid, just a quick question: are you all actively recruiting still for a manager for next season for the Ramble Amigos?
I'm sacked.
Yeah, we are going to have a performance review, hold a performance review with Kev pretty soon. Not satisfied. No, he's doing it. We try to problem solve together. So Bob, Kevin, myself, we just consistently chat with each other just to make sure we can push the Amigos up to plat. But yeah, echo Kev's thoughts though. I mean, I feel there is like 3 different variants of the engine that I'm working with. One is the friendly engine. I run half a dozen friendlies, beat Bob like 3, he wins 3. Seems balanced. That's good. One is the league part of it, where I couldn't like string 2 to 3 wins together. And then the cup aspect of it, which is surprisingly going well, at least in Titan. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's the consistency with the gameplay or if something is changing with regards to the tactics in itself or against the opponents that we play. Yeah, that's where I'm at. I think there's just like one of my teams on the top 3 right now. The other 3 are kind of struggling, and Diamond so much. I mean, it's in a relegation playoff spot right now. So yeah, not a good season so far.
So I'm assuming then the answer for both of the first 2 of you will be that you'll be glad to see the back of this engine.
Yeah,
I would say yes.
Well, I agree with Sid. It feels like 3 different engines for me as well. The cups, friendlies, and leagues just feel totally different. Now I know it's going to sound complete tinfoil madness, but honestly, it does. It just feels so different. Brian, maybe he'll have a different take on it as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be the one that's going to miss this engine. I've really enjoyed it. It's been, I mean, surviving Diamond last season just didn't seem realistic. So did it in this game engine. Tried to upgrade a little bit. Maybe have a little more expectations this season. But again, same thing. It's making sense for me, and I think every few weeks or so, I'm finding some new formation that I would have never considered before. So, kind of figuring out how to get the 5-4-1 diamond. I remember watching teams try this for like the first 6 months that I was playing this game. I would see, especially Josh said he would play a lot of it. Now it just doesn't look like it works. And then kind of just how my team evolved. Maybe kind of getting a little lucky and getting on a good run to get into diamond and not being ready for it at all. I had to figure out how am I going to survive? And getting that to work was great. 4-2-3-1's always been nice. But new stuff coming up like 5-3-2, I've been able to use that a little bit. That's been great. And I think probably the biggest one is Kevin. We were talking a couple weekends ago. Mm-hmm. I don't even remember what the game was, and you just threw out try a 4-1-4-1, and I was like, that sounds terrible. Like that never works. But sure, why not? I'll try any formation just to experiment, and it's been a revelation. So it's kind of forced me to look at not just the formation itself, but all the individual players and how you might key those in against the certain other formations or other teams, leaning on your player's strength. So feels really good right now. I'm probably setting myself up for a terrible loss to Sid today with all of this, but I think I will miss I'll definitely miss this game engine. I mean, next one could be great, but we'll have to wait and see.
So you also, well, I was just going to say, you also have high defensive stats on your wide mids and things like that, Brian, don't you? So a 4-1-4-1 is kind of perfect for your team and your players and your tactics.
Yeah, I think it has been perfect. I think I probably tried almost all the formations at some point, but 4-1-4-1, it just seemed like if I was going to go defensive, I'll just go 4-2-3-1 because I feel like I get more attack out of that. I'm getting more going forward, and you're still getting that defense. Anytime I ran 4-1-4-1 or 4-4-2-B, both of those, I felt like I just had nothing going forward. But with the 4-1-4-1, I'm really seeing it, and I think the big thing that's working is take those 4 mids, and I'm typically setting everybody super defensive, just trying to bunker in and survive all these scary attackers up in Diamond, right? But I think what's working is taking those mids and you actually freeing them to attack forward, and it looks like a really defensive formation on paper, but if you get those individual tactics right, it just seems like there's just like a blitzkrieg of attack, counter attack happening that is generating offense that I haven't been able to prior. So
it's super impressive that you've managed to. I mean, last season I remember thinking, well, Sao Paulo will be one of the teams that go down, and then like suddenly you started getting results, and obviously you stayed up eventually. And yeah, you're right. Just looking at your team now, you've definitely strengthened a bit, but compared to some of the teams in Diamond, it's still pretty underpowered. And so the fact that you're not in the relegation zone again is pretty impressive.
Yeah, that can change quickly though. So give it a couple of days, right? And it could be totally
maybe even
different,
tonight.
Yeah. So it feels a little bit better this season, a little bit more comfortable, but it's tough, right? And I think that's what I love about this game is it's just such a challenge. There's no easy hack. Just when you think you found like the perfect meta formation, right? Something comes along or it's just inconsistent. You see, I think you all were seeing, you try it in friendlies, you're going to try it in leagues, you're going to try a couple, you see different results. There's so much variance between all those competitions and teams. It's a difficult game to dominate.
It is, which makes it all the more impressive that Ronan has dominated up until I guess last season, or even last season he was close to winning it again. And yes, I know he had a good team, but Ronan obviously, he puts in the work still. You only need to go and have a look at the friendlies initiated on his Meta Mercenaries to see that, often he'll go through a couple of days of rattling off 60, 70 friendlies. It's just insane. And so, it is like the more the engine has developed over the course of 10 seasons, the more it feels like it's more rewarding if you put more effort into it. And sometimes I'll sort of sit back or sit on my laurels and think, well, that formation works. I don't need to do anything. And then I'll lose a game and I think, actually, I know that person plays that way. And if I'd done this and this, maybe I would have done better. So I think sometimes, like, if you're prepared to put in a bit more effort, then it can definitely help with the results. And, I know, Sid, you as well put in a lot of time, season after season into the engine. Early on, you'll start running friendlies and looking at stuff. And that's probably one of the reasons how you've ended up getting into Diamond. So, and stayed in Diamond as well. So, like, do you think that the more effort you put in, like, the better you'll do? Or do you think there are sort of default meta things that you can use in this current engine?
No, there are things that definitely tends to change once in a while. I don't know how long that cycle is for. Sometimes it's 3 days, sometimes it's a couple of weeks. Something that works today is definitely not going to work over the next week. That's what I tend to think. So when I started off this season, so the way I saved my 5 setups for Diamond was, let's say there are like 3 different formations, 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3. I had a V1 against it. Right now, I have a version 5 for most of the setups. So that's how much I think it has shifted. And again,
have those changes just happened in this season? So it's not from like start of just this season.
Just this season. So I have it saved as 4-3-3 season 10 version 5. So that's
I love that.
The iterations I've gone through. The painful part is I just cannot replicate the bad part in these friendlies. Again, I'm playing against the same team, Bob's team, over a period of, let's say, a week or 10 days. The day 1 results are completely different compared to the day 7 results. So again, I'm not quite sure if there is a team morale factor or something, that there is a hidden trait in there that tends to affect the performance of the team. Again, it might be a tinfoil hat theory, but
I was going to say that episode was a few weeks ago. But
I love the thought of that, morale. I love that.
Yeah. I mean,
you're right though. Like, because I've been storming it until mid-season. Then I lost a game. Then I thought, oh no. And then I lost another game, and like results started to go. And then suddenly you just see it's like, like result after result you lose. And then the cup day came at the worst time, and I lost all my best teams in the cup, which was very annoying. But it feels like there's a morale in the game. Like one bad result leads to another bad result. But maybe one day.
I noticed it with Meta Mercenaries as well. I was looking at his results yesterday. So over the last 7 games, Meta has 1 win. This is his both league and cup ties combined. So I mean, there should be something. I don't know what exactly it is. Can't pinpoint what it is, but there is a streak. Be it a good streak or a bad streak, you definitely go through both within the course of the season. Unlucky for Bob, it kind of hit him towards the tail end of last season. But noticed it with my other teams in the other leagues in the prior seasons too. Had a team 6th or 7th in the league. I believe this was around season 7. And that team went unbeaten second half and won the league. So there is definitely a streak aspect to the game, but not quite sure what or how it works rather.
Yeah. Do you find that's too, Brian?
We're all going to go through streaks for sure. I think, I kind of tend to believe if they're saying that this is the game engine, then this is the game engine. There's some stuff I've been curious about. I'll try a new formation and I'll try it against one team, and we'll friendly once and it'll go great. And then I'll try it again and again, and I can't get that to happen. I can't replicate that success. It makes me wonder sometimes I don't know how the game engine, if it learns, if it's taking all of the results and then is it training in some way, but it almost feels like it is. Like you'll get your results going, a new formation, something new, and then all of a sudden, why is that not working after it worked for a couple of times? But I think, for streaks are going to happen. Again, the game's got a lot of parity. You've got lots of good teams trying different things. There's so many variables. I just always try to take a look at it and say, as much as it feels like you're reeling and falling apart and you're, going down a spiral, you just want to blow everything up and start over. It's just, I always go back and look and see what happened in these games. Like, what's the cause? Sometimes the XG is there and you've done everything right, and you just say, okay, that there's really nothing to change here. Or maybe you feel like I'm a very defensive team, so sometimes I'm thinking, I want to try to be more offensive. Maybe I don't try to break out of that, try something new. But I'm always going to kind of go back, look at the results, and then try to decide, does that really make sense? I remember, I think near the end of last season, I was thinking about breaking out a more attacking formation, and I thought, this isn't really me. Let me go with what works. And I think that was that last game against Naples that we managed to pull out. So same thing. I'll just, if I'm on a losing streak, same thing with a winning streak, is go back, look at those results. Did I get a roll of the dice, or did I really get it right here? And try to get on some solid footing that way.
I always find it quite funny. You can speak to, 5-10 different managers. I speak to a lot of managers. I'm sure Kev speaks to, 10s and 20, 30 different managers a week about stuff. I'm sure you other guys are the same, that each person has a different view on the engine. And some people will find it sort of like, oh no, this just works for me. It works every night, it works all the time. And you look at it and it's like, yeah, they're right. It just works. And other people will find, no, whatever I do, I'll change it, or I'll run this same sort of attacking style, and the results are just all over the place. One night you'll win sort of 4-0 with a 3xg, and the next night you'll, lose 4-1 with a 2xg. And, it's just sort of all over the place. And I do find that different people can have sort of different perspectives. And when I try and sort of, build my tactics for a season or start from the sort of a baseline, I do try and start from extremes on either side of the settings just to see, is this like a more defensive engine? Do you need to have is defense like the strong suit? But it does feel like as the engines have progressed further and further forwards, that more of the more things work. Like everybody has different styles, and all of those different styles potentially can work just against a different, like the optimal style that they will play against. I should really sort of like keep a list, because I in my mind, I know when I play like my normal tactic against a controlled, it doesn't do quite as well. But when I do someone that's doing direct, it does better, and do you guys take it to that sort of granular level of when you're playing a team, if it looks like they're playing direct football, that you'll try and counter that within the settings, within the team instructions and player instructions? So, Kev, what about you?
Yeah, I try to. I always have. It's a bit difficult this season because I've kind of got the most teams I've ever had. I think I've got 8 teams this season, so it's hard to find the time to do that across 8 teams. But every other season before now, I've always done that. I've always looked at the granular level and analysed stats and watched as many games as I can, really. So yeah, I'll always try and adjust based on what I'm seeing. So I've said that to you in the past as well, David. I'll always try and sort of counter formations, and certainly if it's a set and forget and it's something that I know they're going to run, it's something I know I've beaten in the past as well, for example. So yeah, some occasions it's easy to read. Other times you just get it wrong. Other times variance will hit you as well. So yeah, I mean, you can do all the prep in the world, but sometimes the engine will just bite your ass, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I mean, when I lost the cup games, I lost them, but the stats were the same as if I'd won a game, the game before. So I didn't feel too bad. I was just mildly frustrated that you lose the cup games. I'd rather have lost the league game.
Yeah.
But
well, me and Rory posted in our Discord about that. So Rory had crazy stats. Should have won 2 games with those stats.
Yeah.
And I was the same. I played Ronan. He had 2 shots on target. I had 20 shots, and he won 2-0. 2-0 he won. I just couldn't believe that. Yeah, different cup engine. Hot take.
Yeah, I've always been jealous of those set it and forget it teams. I don't know, especially if it works. I don't know how they make it work, because I feel like for me, if I'm just setting and forgetting it, I have to adjust to every team. So I'm kind of curious. I don't know if everybody else does, but and I'll do this especially if things are rough, is I'll watch the games in 2D, like just sit there, watch them through. To me, the game feels realistic enough that I can watch the 2D and see some stuff I hadn't seen before. And for sure, if I see something, I think it was a few seasons ago. I remember I was playing Scrub and I just couldn't figure it out. And then I watched the game and I'm like, okay, he's high pressing, he's sending direct passes up front. That's how he's breaking through. And then gave me a quick I saw that immediately, made some adjustments. And I used what I learned from just watching a few games and making adjustments for seasons. So definitely I think you have to take a look. I have to take a look and see what the teams are doing and try to get as granular as possible. I've definitely seen, chatter about, people saying testing it's not really valuable, it's not worth it, but I test a lot. I'm say, Meta's going to do like 50, 60 games. Sometimes I'll do the same thing and I'll keep running them. I've even thought about trying to use like an AI bot to try to sim and just keep running games every 5 minutes. But I think the other thing too is but you still got to go back and look at those results, watch the goals, how did they score? So I think the testing is incredibly valuable.
I think the set and forget sort of, probably, I mean, maybe it can work in silver as well. But, I think that the higher up you go, the more you do need to look at, because the other managers are doing that. Like, as you said, like they'll look at other teams, they'll try and work out who is playing what style of football and how best you can counter that style of football. And if you're not doing that and you're just leaving the same team, you're probably setting yourself up to drop more points than you should drop during the season. but you definitely can get away with it in the lower leagues. Even if you've got, if you find a good formation that works with your players, you can just leave it. But, I prefer to sort of like tweak, tactics. I tweak tactics most nights, although I play the same formation. I have done pretty much now for 10 seasons, for nearly all of my games. The actual way that team plays changes quite a lot most nights, but
well, that's it. At least you get,
unless you have like absolute god squad within that league, you could probably have people tweaking their tactics to try to beat you, right? But if you are ranked third or fourth in the projections table, then for you to be able to punch above the weight of the squad capability, you definitely need to do some of the tweaks, at least, even if it's not completely formational. It can be the attacking with, defensive with, whatever the opponent throws against you. Those subtle changes definitely work, and we've noticed it in the last like 3, 4, 5 seasons even. And to touch upon another like thing, I think I spoke about this in one of the podcasts before. So Brian, when he was in Plat, I think he was projected to finish 11th or 10th when you got promoted, right, Brian?
Yeah, it might have been the Diamond. I was last, I think, that season, so I think you're right, it might have been 10th or 11th.
Yeah, and that again was like one of the factors that I started looking at the 2D aspect of the gameplay as well, to try and figure out what's going on. And he was like, oh, you need to be able to read games so that you can make improvements to the team. And that kind of pushed me to more watching the games, looking at the data and see how it correlates with the gameplay, to try to better understand how to counter the opponent. So it definitely works. The thing is, the data is available. How do you interpret data, and how do you come up with the antidote? That's the crucial aspect of it. And that's where I feel this season I've fallen short. Shout out to Hammers. He's been supplying me with endless amount of data this season. Shame on me that I can't put it to good use. So that's where I'm at. But yeah, definitely investing more time in friendlies, it can only help the squad go one way.
I think Sid, you were like a season ago. Sorry, go ahead.
I've heard Hammers' name come up twice today now. So Hammers, we'll have to get you on the show at some point, because I hear you're an absolute degen with the stats like data mining, diamond, and 2D. I'd really love to. We'll have to get you on in the new year and chat more about that sort of stuff, because that sounds amazing. I loved, when they introduced heat maps and like the shot stuff. I just love that sort of stuff. Like, and you can tell you just run a friendly with one guy on high freedom, and then the next time you put him on low freedom, and it's just, it's obvious. You can see like the differences are there, and that's what just makes the engine even more sort of real. And I can't wait to see what they evolve down the line with that sort of like in-game data and stuff like that. Sorry, Brian, I interrupted you. What were you going to say, mate?
Oh, no worries. It's interesting. I don't know. There's a whole data source here I might not have been aware of from James, but I think Sid, it was a season ago, I think mid-season, and things were still a little rough at that point for survival in Diamond. And you had mentioned to me heat maps, and I remember looking at the beginning of the season, and I thought, this is too much information. I don't know how to interpret all this and make sense of it. But I remember mid-season you mentioned that, Sid, and I really dug in, and they made a huge difference down the stretch. I probably credit that as much as anything as giving me that information. I can now see where's my opponent, where's their attacking width, rough idea of what's their depth. Getting down to individual players and seeing, like you said, which ones are free, which ones are don't have as much freedom, and then adjust your defense to be able to just match that. So incredibly valuable. It saves a lot of time. I used to watch so many 2D matches. I remember I've constantly playing this game, and I'm like, this is just a lot of work. I enjoy the work. I really could just sit and watch these sims just run for hours and hours, and I'll find that on weekends it'll be like 3 a.m, and I'm like, what have I been doing for the last 4 hours? Just kicking off sim after sim. So there's value in that, but it takes a lot of time, and the heat maps just priceless in value.
To be fair, I still watch a few games on 2D, like not all the way sometimes. Definitely like a first half. I'll just put it on if I'm just at my computer and just so you can see how they're playing. And I especially love doing that with new engines. We'll talk about the new engine later on in the show, but because it just gives you like an idea of where things like. I like to work out how teams are scoring goals, and how I score goals and how I can see goals. And with separate engines, there's been sort of quite obvious ways when you've watched a few games of how those goals are scored. And like this engine, as everybody knows, is the cutback engine. 90% of the goals are someone working it in from the wing and then a little cross in, and before you know it, the ball's in the back of the net. And my early impressions on the new engine are that there's a lot more variety, and I'm really looking forward to sort of playing around with it a bit more. But when you're sort of doing that, I'm trying to work out a way to say this. Do you like look at an engine specifically? Is there certain things that you target when you're watching a 2D match? Like I guess for Brian, as you've been watching matches, like is there stuff like trigger things that you notice in the match that really sort of like shout out, okay, this is happening, I know what I can do to sort of counter that?
I mean, I think first I'll see is, when we're not scoring goals or we're giving up goals. So what is happening going forward? And you can quickly see, okay, these guys are going forward. They don't have space, or they have no one to pass to, right? So, I mean, that's what I would do with 2D, and you can the whole flow of a game, so I don't know if I'm going with any specific, like I'm looking at this, that, other. I'm just looking for anything that stands out. And again, it's every time I do it, it's valuable. I like watching my games in 2D, but it's tough because we're on Discord, so you want to keep up with everybody else's games, and you want to chat and congratulate when good things happen. But I want to watch my game in 2D, so I'm often like I'll finish my game and it'll be everyone's done and gone, and the party's over. I'm like, oh, well, great games, good job everybody. So I often don't watch them in 2D now because I want to keep up with what's going on with the rest of the groups.
Yeah, I normally, if it's like an important game, I'll go extended highlights, because that's sort of a little bit more of a happy medium, and it doesn't take quite as long as 2D. Like 2D goes on forever, but it's very frustrating. I remember like watching 2D games, and you just see that your players kicking the ball into touch all the time and stuff like that. It's like, oh, come on. But yeah.
So I think you can. I mean, you can look at heat maps, and it's going to interpret that. But the next level is just get into the 2D, watch it, and it's going to give you a more granular view of everything that's happening there. So it just takes more time. So it just depends if you have that.
How much preparation do you do for like big matches, like tonight's match versus Sid? Like, how much preparation have each of you done?
Brian, before you answer that, can you also reveal your formations?
I feel like my answer was going to reveal it. So typically I'm looking at, depending on the team, it depends. Like we play a lot of the same formations, but I feel like every time I play a new formation for the first time that week, I'm like, oh, what do I do against? I feel like I'm starting over all the time. But I mean, I think there's a lot of cases where you see the team, you see your rotations and everything. You're like, okay, I know exactly what I'm playing here. And there's no question of it. So I think for Sid's tough because, he's not a manager that uses the same set it and forget it formation. So you got to look at who's available, how they might attack. But I did know almost immediately what I was going to do against Sid when I looked last night.
I guess it's a bit easier because it's sort of it's the second half of the season and it's the second season of this engine. So it's a little bit easier, that sort of stuff. I remember the season you were in, I think was it bronze? It must have been bronze. I was in there with you, Sid. Was it your Los Galacticos? No, it was one of your sides in there, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah, that was the one, yeah. And I looked at your formations. I went back maybe 10 games and you'd literally played a different one. And I just gave up. I thought, I don't know. I'm just going to put the backups in and mail this one in like that. And that's what changing formations can do to people, because people look at it and think, oh, I honestly, I look at his squad. I can see who's fit. He's got most of the players fit. So he could probably play 5 or 6 different formations. And I remember that was probably the most like confused I'd ever been going into a match. Normally I'm like, right, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to play this way. And that I just couldn't work out what you were going to play. And then eventually you played a formation that if I knew you were going to play it, I had a good counter to it. So, but anyway, hammered me in that game, and I think you've been a bit of a bogey manager for me ever since. But yeah, so yeah, it can be. It's so much easier when you're playing against people that do play a similar formation every game, and I know I do that, so I probably make it a bit easier for people. But I just find it tweaking the player instructions and team instructions is far easier than sort of having to change formation. But kudos to people that can get 5 great formations working all season. But what about you, Kev?
For the 2D engine, well, I love watching 2D games when I've got the time, mainly just, as Brian said, to see the obvious stuff. So, is my defense pressing too high, or is through balls getting in behind them? Is there a meta? Is there through ball meta? Is crossing better? Is dribbling better? So it's great when there's a new engine out and you're watching games in full 2D, because you can just analyze every detail that you wouldn't get in the goal highlights as well. But no, I haven't done that in a little while, mainly because apparently the engine hasn't changed. So I haven't needed to.
Tim 4 Hat, has the engine changed? For me, I think the engine's exactly the same, but
yeah, I think it's changed. I said earlier, I think there's 3 different engines. Never mind. Never mind that it's changed. But yeah, I mean, mixed success across the board, really. So yeah, but no, I'm looking forward to getting into the new engine. I won't do it yet though, because as we know, it'll change again. So yeah, I might run the odd experimental friendly, but I won't do it in 2D. I'll maybe just do it with highlights just now.
I did maybe 8 friendlies, maybe 10 friendlies the other day, just with it, just sort of, redoing it straight after, because I just wanted to see how the goals were being scored. And it looked quite impressive, actually. Like those, different patterns of play and sort of more 1-2s. And, it looked very, very different. And the results were okay. Like I was playing a slightly better team, and I think I only lost 1 of like 9 games, and I, won quite a few of them as well. So yeah, but you're right. I definitely will not put too much effort into it right now, knowing that even small tweaks that they make could make massive impacts to how the game sort of works or plays out. But
yeah,
I think the other thing with 2D is, so if you watch the regular game, a highlight kicks off and there's going to be a scoring chance. And that is incredibly stressful if it's a big game and your opponent's got the ball. So I think if I go to extended highlights, I'm like, okay, well, there's just someone's going to cross it in the box. Don't worry, they got the ball. It's a little less stressful for me. Again, if it's a game that I'm really stressed about, but I do find myself watching these games, and it is so stressful. I have like so much anxiety. It's I don't know if I'm really enjoying it. I'm kind of looking forward to it, to see the result and see it over. But it's definitely an emotional roller coaster for sure.
I remember Bob last season, he wouldn't even watch his Diamond games. He just asked me and Sid for the result. Yeah, it must be incredibly stressful at that level for sure. Sid's the same.
Does it still take 45 minutes for like the 2D games?
Pass. I haven't watched it in ages, but I think so.
I haven't watched the full one.
Takes a while, yeah. But it's
never timed it. Good question.
No, but it does take forever. But I find it really valuable when a new engine's been finalized. That's when I'll really do it. And just see if there's a meta, if there's a certain way of scoring, where's my weaknesses, all that kind of thing. So it's like you guys said, patterns, obvious things, is the pressing too high? Is my line too high? Is my width too wide? All that sort of stuff. So
I mean, I would watch the games full stop if I could. There's, again, you have back-to-back games. I think, Sid, this has come up in some of our group chats. I might be the only one that wants the game to just space out the games. Like, we play maybe 2 games a week, because I could easily spend, when we get those 3-day breaks in mid-season, I'm spending, 3 days testing, planning, starting to think for that next game. And then even then I'll get to the game and I'm like, I still think I could use more time. So I pour so much into preparation. I would actually prefer if they switched it and did like a Wednesday and a Saturday, and I could really prepare for it. When those games came, I could really watch the whole 45 minutes and soak it in. But I think I might be in the minority there.
I think there's a few people that would like it a bit more spaced out, but I imagine from MFL's point of view, it makes more sense for them to shorten the seasons, if anything. But I think that from like hearing from Matt, it sounds like he's quite happy with the balance they've got, because at the rollover, everything seems to fall normally on the same day. It just all works out quite well. But
Well, there's a lot of people that aren't happy that a season's still 6 weeks long. They think that's too long. So if we went with Brian's idea, it would be about 3 months long for a season.
Right.
One year a season, yeah.
Yeah, there's another game I played. It was a basketball manager game called Buzzer Beater. I still kind of played in the background just for fun, but that's what they are. Seasons are like 2 or 3 months long, and you'll have like a Tuesday game, and then you'll have a Saturday game. There's, if you're in the cup, there'll be a Thursday game, and I played that for like 10 years, so that's probably where where I enjoyed the pace and but again, to me, it seems like the seasons just absolutely fly by.
That sounds fun if you've had that from the start, but if you have a quick pace game then go slow, I think it would be a bit different.
Oh, I think they'd upset too many people.
Yeah.
I mean,
the
now
basketball game sounds fun.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Cap.
No, I was just saying the basketball game sounds really fun. Sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, now we are kind of on the other end of the spectrum, right? We are like fast tracking games with the Masters qualifiers or the other, like some of the cups that have come in the past, like the Gold Rush. So it's one game every few minutes, especially with the qualifiers. I don't think you even have like 5 to 6 minute break in between those games. Sometimes if it goes into extra time, you're past your kickoff time for the following game. So it's a fun dynamic though. You get to play one a day or the whole qualifier tourney within an hour to an hour and a half window. So it's fun.
The 5-minute break, there's nothing you can do. It's kind of nice actually, because you're just like, I won. There's not even enough time to look at the opponent and make a difference. So just set it and let it go. So those Masters tournaments were actually really fun.
That's what I said to you, Kev. It's like, because you were changing formations in between matches. I was like, why don't you just get a formation, stick it in there, and go with it the whole tournament? Like, you eventually got through anyway. But I'm sure you'll probably smash the Masters when it comes around, because you've got one of the best teams in Division 2, haven't you? So
Tier 2. Yeah, I'm sure I'll have mastered some tactics by then.
just in time for the new engine, yeah.
No, I mean, gold's going well. We are third. And it's, although we're projected top, it's very, very tight, very fine margins. I think we've got 90 overall, and everyone else is on 89.5 and 0.8 and stuff. So, I mean, it's not like there's a huge gulf and I should be running away with the league. You know, it's always going to be close and competitive up there.
Yeah,
So,
I think we are at a point where the individual stats matter a lot more than overalls as well, and I think that is again one of the things that is impacting like my season in Diamond. So I'm looking at every individual positions like the right back or the center mids and saying, hey, can I increase the pace in the midfield or get the right back to be more high freedom so he can be kind of a two-way wing back rather than just defend and whatnot. So from it being just overall, right now I'm trying to like fine tune it to make sure I'm getting better players with those additional parameters to suit how the team plays. So it is very difficult to find players at that level as well. But yeah, I mean, it is just continuously evolving. I mean, a couple of seasons back, it was like, oh, as long as I have a 90 rated striker, he could ball in gold or even plat, I'm good with it. To this, yeah, people are like really picky when it comes to these players as well. So the prices seem to kind of go up for pacey midfielders. It is definitely like getting to the next stage now, is what I feel like.
Yeah,
I was just going to say it's kind of the problem I've got in gold, because although I've obviously got an elite team put together by you and Bob, the one complaint I would have is that the midfielders are too slow. They're all sort of 60 on pace. But yeah, perfectionist and all that sort of stuff. Like Brian with his high defense and all his players, you know, he's built that. He's chosen that. And like,
yeah, I remember. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
No, it's just high pace, high physical center mids I've got there. So
Yeah, I think that's what was. I mean, there was a point. It was a while ago, several seasons ago, probably halfway back, and since I've been playing. But I remember with central midfielders, I would put them out there, and I had a central midfielder and I had a central defensive midfielder, and the CM was rated higher at CM, but every time I played that CDM up in as a central midfielder, he always performed better. And I think what I saw was, the defense to me seems like it was more valuable than the formula is that calculates their OVR. And anytime, so I think I took that, I kind of just leaned into it, and it seemed successful. So I just continued to kind of look at those skills. It's hard to find midfielders, strikers. These players are expensive, right? You get to the top level, there might not even be, you might not even have the perfect option available, right? But I think you can look at those stats and say, okay, well, I can't get all 6 stats perfectly, but maybe this one doesn't matter as much. I think for me, that was the first time I switched over to looking at individual stats was defense and midfield. And I said, I don't think shooting is that valuable. I'm not scoring a lot of goals out of midfield. But if I put good defenders there, I actually can make a difference to my team. So I kind of just completely ignored shooting on midfielders and switched to just all defense. And then kind of eventually you get up higher and you're like, okay, well, pace is a big one. We're seeing physical is also a big one. So yeah, I don't know if the overall is nice. It gives you a gauge of something to search on, but I feel like everything is in those individual stats.
And it's
I think that's really
quite
important,
unusual,
though.
isn't it? Like, sorry, it's quite unusual.
No,
Like
no.
you've only got one team in the game. Like all of the other big managers, I can see we've got Big Wilbert in the chat. We've got, Ron John was in there earlier. These guys have lots of teams and also like help manage teams at the top echelon of the leagues. Whereas you've just got one team, Brian. Do you find it difficult bringing in talent, or do you try and bring in players and then loan them out to get game time and hopefully get progression so they come back into your agency or the main team eventually? Or are you just buying specific players to tick a box within the formations that you want to play?
I mean, I'm definitely focusing on just one team, right? I definitely, as I've said, the game itself takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
I've thought about having multiple teams. I remember again, something balling, Matt, he had 3 teams when I joined, and I got one team, and then you have to start buying players, and players are expensive. That adds up. So I've really kind of always been, I'm just gonna throw everything into this one basket and see how far I can take it. I think the only thing that I miss, the biggest thing I would say that I would like to have with multiple teams is the ability to take those teams and test against each other. So I can definitely kind of nudge Sid, Bob, whoever, and say, hey, can you guys try this formation? But if I had full control, I'm asking Sid to set a formation and say, hey, can you try a little neutral here, or a little more balance this way? For myself, I would just be testing so many different things and running them over and over again. Having control of both teams, I feel like I would really learn a lot about the formations and tactics and whatever my goal was for testing at that time. But I think I don't think I ever expected to go above silver. And then as it just kind of kept going on, I've said, okay, well, I'm going to just, as this team's build is working, I'm just going to kind of forget my long-term plan here and just lean into this and strike while the iron's hot, so to speak. So I think this season I have set a goal and I reached it. I didn't want to have to put any more money into the game. Selling players has been difficult, so I just used all of my loans to fill the players that I need. So I've got 100% loaned out this season. I think people think I'm crazy, but that was kind of my goal. Is without putting the money in, team still progressing and doing well. This was a great way to lean into it and still get key players in. It's just a short window in the off season to make it happen. That's all.
And Sid, you used to have more teams as well, didn't you? But then you sort of streamlined it, obviously, to sort of, raise capital to put into Los Galacticos. I guess that's probably one of the reasons why the Amigos came about, didn't it? So you both got a place to put decent players that could make the step up to Diamond.
Yeah, and the other reason was I was starting to get a lot of gray, so I wanted to transfer it over to Kev since he wouldn't have that issue. So he kind of wanted Kev to run the team. But yeah, I think I had 6 teams at one point. So, and one was in gold by season 7. So I had to move the team out to gather some funds because like Brian mentioned, I didn't expect to get into Diamond that quick either. So I wanted to make sure I stayed there for a couple of seasons at least. So yeah, right now we're running 4 teams. I don't think that's going to increase anytime soon either. But yeah, just want to focus a lot more time in Diamond and see if I could get one of the other like teams out of my country to a couple of more like levels higher than where we are right now.
What about you, Kev? You've got sort of plenty of teams. Do you pay the same amount of attention to sort of like Amigos and Retro Degens as the teams that are lower down?
I do. I think it's probably been to my detriment this season. Like, I'm giving the Flint team as much focus as I am to the gold team, but I'm making time to do all. So it's not like I'm neglecting one to do the other. You know, it's just I'm maybe spending 4 or 5 hours on it instead of 1 or 2 hours instead. You know, so yeah, I'm spending good time on each team. What's annoying me is just how different the seasons have been for each of my teams. So as I said earlier, I had 3 teams unbeaten, but like I'm struggling in the cups and I can't win in silver, and the gold team isn't top as I hoped it would be, and things like that. So yeah, I mean, it's just been a mixed season, but yeah, I'm spending a lot of time on all the teams to answer your question.
In terms of things that sort of worked this season, you know, obviously, you know, you two have got a game going on later this evening, so you know, don't give too much away, but you know, there are some sort of obvious things that have worked quite well in this engine. You know, like having aggression turned up, you know, for whatever reason. You know, you do get the risk of more red cards and stuff like that. I've definitely had more red cards this season than I would normally have, but all of my teams play more aggressive. And what I found is that gave more consistency. And I think a lot of people have found that. But, you know, I think it's a trade-off, isn't it, with a lot of these different sort of settings. Is there anything that you found that, like, you will miss if it doesn't work next season?
Well, I'm curious about the aggression, actually. So do you set that on your whole team, or are you setting that individually?
I have that set on every single team in the team instructions, and then take it off, remove it for the centre backs, because I didn't want to because I started giving a couple of penalties away, and I thought, well, if I just remove it and put it back to balanced on them, and that's worked quite well.
Yeah, I'm curious how that's working for everybody. I've been too scared of getting red cards and breakdowns, so I'll only really do that on maybe strikers and central attacking midfielders. If it's a long shot game, you know, maybe I'll do it on the wide mids, but otherwise I'm steering clear for any defensive players whatsoever. I'm just keeping them kind of at the default normal.
Yeah, no, I think last season, the first half of last season, I didn't have it on, or I had it on balanced, and like the results were just like mixed. I was getting like a win, then a loss, then a draw, and it just felt difficult trying to work it out. And then mid-season last season, I did loads of testing, and I eventually came to the conclusion that I was getting so much more consistency from having aggression. I turned up to the max, and pressing turned up to the max on sort of like all the players apart from the centre backs. And yeah, that sort of continued into this season, really. And I think that from speaking to a lot of people have sort of found that. But then the trade-off is, as I think Kev like turned it off because he was starting to get a couple of red cards. But what I found is, yes, you might go through 2 back-to-back games of getting red cards. Hopefully you're up and already leading when you get the red card in one of them. And, you know, so it may look bad that you're getting red cards, but actually it's not quite as bad because, you know, you're picking up so many extra points by the fact that you've got aggression turned on in the first place.
Well, what I never told you was that I put it back on because I seen the results were suffering. So I started to lose games with it off. So I put it back on, and I've been winning more games with it on for sure. Yeah. It just seems better for pressing. Like you win the ball back quicker with more aggression and more pressing.
Yeah, no, I've noticed that, especially higher up the pitch. Like the amount of goals I score now, where I win possession, like from pressing them in the middle third of the pitch or just into the final third, and like end up scrap. There was one goal last night versus Kodap, like the final goal where my guy just pressed him outside the area with the aggression turned on, took the ball off him, and then like hit it at the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper flapped at it, and it bounced off the goalkeeper into the net. But yeah, sorry, Kodak. But yeah, no, it really, it just makes such a big difference. And I will definitely miss that if it goes for next season. I can't see how they can have it on there permanently, because otherwise it will get to the point where everybody just permanently turns it on, and then it's just like, it's not really a setting, is it, if everybody has it turned on? So
yeah, I'll have to test this. I really haven't. Go ahead.
I know. On you go, Brian. On you go.
Yeah, I was just saying I haven't really turned this rock over that much. I've been very narrow with just doing this on strikers and cams, so I feel like maybe I'm missing out in here. You guys are talking about wins you're getting from that, so I got to at least start trying that in friendlies to see how that.
But yeah, the trade-off obviously is the red cards. But I think I was up 2-0. My last red card was either last night or the night before, and I was already up 2-0, and I ended up winning the game. So you don't really care quite as much then, do you? But
right.
What about you, Sid? Have you been using aggression?
Not really. I did. I was talking to Bob like a couple of days back, and he did mention about the aggression part. I gave it a go, but yeah, I'm not really comfortable with using high aggression either, because I feel the same way as Brian. I mean, if there is an early red card, I mean, the team just tends to spiral. So yeah, I've been using it on balanced. On strikers and wide mids, I have tried using high aggression just on those positions, but definitely not on the center defensive mids or the defenders either. But yeah, I mean, if the league form continues to be bad and doesn't take a turn for good, maybe it's time to give it a go and see if it works out.
Yeah, maybe test that tomorrow.
Don't test it tonight, yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually just setting up my ice and stone teams. I haven't even set up my diamond yet. So, yeah, it definitely won't be high aggression, Brian.
And is there anything else that's sort of in this engine which you found is sort of like a must have? Like, it feels like pressing is something that I've had on since. It's a setting that's just been on since the start of season 1, and I can't anticipate a situation in my head where I might even turn it off.
I was going to say see the bottom 3 boxes. My go-to settings this engine is press more, high aggression, and play out from the back.
Yeah, same as me.
So if you don't have those 3 settings on, well, for me, and I think for you as well, I don't know. The results just aren't as good. It's just seems to be way more consistent.
I haven't even, same thing. I've got the same 3 settings. I haven't even veered from them at all. So now I'm actually wondering, maybe I should test these a little bit more and see if I'm missing something. But yeah,
we're certainly going to see loads of friendlies popping up on Brian's stream up until the match this evening.
So I think other than that, freedom is, for me, is huge.
Yeah.
It's funny. I think last season too, there was a couple of things. It goes back to, I think, Sid, when you were like, nudge, hey, check the heat maps. I think at that time too, I would set so many different things. You would set, okay, well, this player doesn't have great shooting, so adjust their shooting one way or another, or this person can't dribble, so adjust them lower. Like, I would really tinker and try to, figure the formula for every player. But what I think helped is more minimalist. I just wiped away all those individual settings, left pretty much everything balanced, unless it's really extreme. Like, I've got my left mid is 64 shooting. I don't want that guy shooting at all. So I'll put him, I'll set him to, don't take long shots. But otherwise, I try to drive everything over just the freedom and the attacking focus. Like, those two just seem absolutely critical. And I've started building the match plans kind of around that. So, you can, if you want to be able to have control of those settings, you have to leave your player neutral, right? And that's what I've been doing. I think, Kev, you mentioned the 4-1-4-1. Then I started tinkering a little bit more with match plans over the last week or two, and those seem really, really effective. You mentioned Big Will was on earlier, and boy, he's really had my number. He's such a good manager. He's got so many players. I finally got a win against him. He had destroyed me over the last 3 weeks, like 3 games. I think he won all 3 of them, beat me 8-0. Came back, tried the 4-1-4-1, and then used the match plans. And I think I had, like, at 30 minutes, I'm like, okay, if we're still tied, we're hanging in there, let's go attack a little bit more. And I set it, to offensive at 30 minutes for like my wing backs and my wingers. And immediately we scored a minute later. And I could see them just start flying forward, overlapping runs and attacks. So the freedom and the attacking focus just seem so valuable.
As far as match plans go, I've got I think they're great, and they've definitely added a new angle to the game. But I would love them if they were sort of like a little bit more granular, like rather than just after 45 minutes, if you're up or something. I would like it if you've got like, I don't know, if find a way to sort of like, if you're on top, like push forward. But if you're already getting smacked about and you're losing, then pushing up further forward is probably not going to help. You're probably just going to lose by more. So that's sort of like an option for sort of choosing how the game flow is dependent rather than just the scoreline would be something that I'd really love. And one thing, Big Wilbert in the chat here is just saying, I did notice this actually, in the mid-season report, with high aggression turned on, you only get 20% more cards than like having it on neutral. So actually the trade-off, yes, it's higher. Yes, like if you've got really thin squads of, 17 players and fixed rotations, having high aggression might actually be like, you might struggle with it later on in the season when like with their yellow card accumulation. But if you've got a reasonable squad of 20 players, 21 players, then actually it's not too bad. It's just the red cards that the issue. But, you don't get them every game. It's not like your guys are going in there like, 2 feet on every single challenge and like trying to get sent off. It just increases the aggression a little bit more.
I mean, if that gets included as part of the match plans, that will be great as well, right? I mean, if you have the capability to set your team up, if in case you're reduced to 10, or again, the second option is, like you mentioned, it can be XG based or XG conceded based. So if you're getting hammered with 20 shots in the first hour, then you don't want to be switching to more aggressive starting from the 60, right? So, those could definitely add, again, another dimension to the game and could help plan better and take more risks in terms of either aggression or the depth as well, with regards to if you're playing 60-70% depth attacking line-wise.
Yeah, match plans for red cards is an absolute must. That's a huge one for me.
Yeah, match incidents like that as well. Yeah, those sort of things. Because like I think having them in there is definitely an advantage. Like if I'm running a formation or running a style of football, like maybe more controlled one game or like just balanced, and I'm not doing particularly well, not generating the XG, but then making a change, I'd like more triggers to be able to make that change rather than just sort of like a time and a scoreline. But yeah.
That's a brilliant comment from James. Brian is yet to concede when using the 4-1-4-1. There you go.
That's our data analyst.
That's our data analyst, yeah. So
I'm not using that today. I'm not going to use that today. Anything other than that.
It's such a hard formation to beat as well, though. So, especially with the quality of defensive players that you have.
I don't know what you think about.
Combo.
I just look at it and I think that just looks like a horrible formation. I think you were playing, weren't you? And I was just like, oh, why are you playing that? And he was like, it work. And I was like, okay, fair enough. I've never tried it, so I don't know. And it's like, well, Brian does it now, and Brian's getting it to tick as well. And it's like,
But as Brian said earlier, you can create overloads in attack. It's a great counter-attack information as well. So
I mean, cams sound great, but
defending and 6 people attacking, right? So if you have the right kind of players, you got just one striker who's probably not going to defend. You got the rest pressing high, and again in attack, if you have high freedom on those center mids, then you got like 4 or 5 people pushing forward as well.
Yeah,
I think we were talking about this, Sid, about Cam. Like a Cam just looks great on the field. They're right tucked in behind a striker or two. They just look so dangerous. And then you'll run a game and it's like, maybe the opponent doesn't even have any central defensive midfielders. And you're like, how is that player just not, running all over this team? I think, Sid, we were just talking about this yesterday about, the flat midfield versus maybe like a diamond and where you might actually want to set your depth. Maybe with a cam, you need to pull your depth back a little bit, actually, which would be a little unintuitive. You'd think you'd want to, push forward, but yeah, I think it's shocking to see the results out of that seemingly inept a formation from an attacking from point of view, because again, I'm just watching those players. I think maybe you're just getting behind. You got enough defensive structure there. If you've got good defense there, it's easy to stop the opponent, create turnovers, and then I've got a lot of pace in the midfield too. So it's like when I set those guys free and counterattack, it's fun to watch, surprisingly.
Yeah, the one thing that I won't miss in this engine is cutbacks. That is like the thing that I hate the most right now. I cannot create cutbacks. I cannot defend cutbacks. So yeah, I'm being a bit selfish because 60% of the goals in Diamond are cutbacks, according to Mr. Hammis. So yeah, cutbacks. If it is a variety of goals and cutbacks contribute to 20%, 25% of the overall number, that's one thing. But if it's making up 60% of the overall type of goals that get scored, that is something that I'm definitely not going to miss. And
I think that sort of like percentage is probably across the whole of MFL this season. It's not just Diamond. It feels like at least every other goal, maybe like 75% of goals like from those cutbacks. And I remember it drove me insane for the first half of last season because, as I said earlier, I try and look at how goals are scored and how I can stop those goals being scored as like a fundamental before I start tweaking everything else. And with the through ball engine, the one before that, the season before, I worked out a way eventually to stop those. And I still conceded a few, but nowhere near as many as sort of like people were saying they were unstoppable. I don't believe they were. But these, like the cutback goals, are unstoppable. And it's about a way of minimizing how many concede. I tried having like the team spread out a bit more. Maybe I could stop the crosses coming in. Then that didn't work. So I thought, okay, well, if I go narrow, that'll leave less space between them so the players can't score when it comes in. But they still scored them because that's the way they score them in this engine. So eventually I just thought, sod it, I'm just going to try and outscore teams. And that's the way I've sort of tried to tackle this engine. But yeah, you're right. Just more variety. And as I said, like, I've only run maybe 10 friendlies in the new engine, and it looks impressive from like a variety of goals and like patterns of play, and just everything seems a lot more polished. It just feels more like a real match when you're watching them. But
yeah, those cutbacks are nearly impossible. And I think, I don't remember, I could be wrong, I don't remember them being as dangerous last season. I feel like it's this season. Again, I'm believing they've said it's the same game engine. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid and believing that, but I don't know. These 3-man front lines are just unstoppable. And I used so many 5-in-the-back formations last season. I'm using the same ones this season, and it just seems like they're scoring more. I don't know. I don't know if 60% of the goals, you can't stop them, right? They're going to happen. Yeah. But I mean, definitely tinkered with, last season being in full bunker mode. Anyway, I could create defense. I would be creating defense, low defensive settings on that whole back line. But I think even if you do that, and this is where I'm starting to tinker a little bit, is, I think center back line, it always helps to set them low and set them defensive. I mean, if you have some faster defenders, which I've started to get a couple of, that they definitely help. But then if you're running 5 in the back, I would do the same thing. I would set those wing backs to low and defensive, but they'd still sneak through a cutback goal. Or so it's like maybe I can't stop them. So maybe I need to figure out, you can't stop every goal. So maybe release some of those wing backs, let them get forward and help in attack. And maybe someday I'll test that on one of my faster center backs and just see how it goes. But yeah, they are tough. They're fun to score though when you do get them on your side though.
It's very much an engineism. This engine, it's the way to score goals in this engine, and unfortunately, it's just the way it's been. But I was going to ask you a question there, Brian. Do you ever play with high freedom on your centre backs? Do you ever do that? So your centre backs go for corners? No.
I just thought of it though. As we were starting to talk about, those. I'm thinking about the front lines. I'm thinking about how tough they are to stop. But just like we were saying with the 4-1-4-1, you've got those midfielders coming in to support the attack, and I think that's what you're seeing. Maybe I can somehow slow down the front line of like one of our top teams in Diamond, but then they've got a midfielder flying up that they just kick it back to, and it's an easy goal. So I think I was thinking about that. Maybe you need to figure out how to set more defensive freedom on your CDM so he can get back and cover those runs, or your midfielders, or like you were saying, maybe you set a little more freedom on some of your center backs.
Yeah, I was playing about with that for a while, and it was working in terms of, so I had the centre backs and the CDMs on high freedom, so they were almost interchanging with each other and just covering each other. So it worked for a while, but then it just stopped working. So I had to put them all at low freedom again, which was a real shame because centre backs in high freedom will go up for corners, they'll score the odd headed goal and stuff like that. So yeah, it was cool to experiment with for a while, but then it just stopped working. So
I'm adding that to my list to test. I've got turn up aggression, release center
high
backs.
aggression, high freedom on the centre backs. What about you, Sid and David? Do you do that? High freedom centre backs?
Yes.
Always.
So always I have it. I'll set up on the one with the highest shooting, and if you're lucky, then they'll go up for the corners and stuff like that. I did experiment because I had one or two teams that had really good really good shooting on both centre backs, and trying to set it, but I just couldn't get them both to go up. I was like, if I can get everyone in the area, maybe I'll get score from more corners. But I think James said a second ago that only 10 goals from corners this season in Diamond. It does feel a lot lower. Like I used to score a fair few more in sort of my teams, and I definitely am scoring this season. I don't know whether you found that as well, Kev.
Yeah, well, yeah, mainly in the lower leagues. I've seen loads of corners going in, but not so much in silver and bronze. So I don't know if you've noticed a difference between the leagues with it, or
not really. And I mean, I'm watching a game that I've got live at the moment, and I know for a fact one of my defenders is on high freedom and the other one is on low freedom, and their heat maps, where are we? Nearly half time, are identical, apart from the one on high freedom has got a little snake going up to the centre, going up to the penalty area, where he's gone up there for two corners, and that's it.
Right.
So I literally think that having high freedom on centre backs just affects them going up for corners, and that's it.
Well, I was noticing they were covering more ground between the box and the halfway line as well. So yeah, their heat map was a bit more intense in that section, and same with the CDMs. So, but I don't know. It feels like it's changed again though for some reason. But that was like a really thick heat map for the centre back going all the way up to the halfway line. And then you would get the wee snake all the way up to the box for a corner.
I think that having the high freedom on them definitely, rather than just extending how high and low they go on the pitch in terms of heat maps, it makes them wider more than anything.
Right.
Don't you think?
Yeah, well, as I say, it feels like it's changed because before they were covering up to the halfway line, but now they just seem to it's not doing that anymore. It just seems to be a thick, just outside the box, a thick bit of heat map, and then the little snake up for the corner, and that's it.
Yeah.
So it's definitely changed. I don't know why. Maybe I'm picking the wrong players for it now. I don't know. Maybe something has changed that stopped it.
Is there a hidden work rate parameter for players? Would that be something that affects how they work? I don't know. I just scored a cutback as we talk about cutbacks as well.
Nice.
Maybe I was using it on a high pace player or something, and maybe I tried it on a low pace player and it wasn't working. I don't know. I can't remember now. But
I find it very difficult unless you're sort of running, 20, 30 friendlies against the same team with the same instructions. Because even if you run those same settings and you look back, there'll be slightly different heat maps because it's a football match and players don't. It's like, this isn't my boundary, drawn out on the pitch. You can only go here. They will move further out sometimes for, whatever reason. So it's quite difficult. I think sometimes judging the data off just maybe a handful of games. And I know that, you guys obviously play more than a handful of games when you're doing friendly runs. You play a lot more than that. But, it's quite difficult being objective, even from, say, you run 30 friendlies. I mean, that isn't really a lot of data, is it, when you run, put it like scaling it up. But, it's quite interesting.
Big Will just said there, you need pace for high freedom centre backs. He's probably right. That's probably a thing. So,
funnily enough, like I haven't made many major changes the second half of the season, but one thing I have changed is around pace. I'm not going to say what it is, but it's one of the things that I've tweaked, and I've found actually that it's been quite beneficial right from the start. But yeah,
well, pace definitely still kills. Pace is still so important. So, yeah.
So you're asking Bob and Sid to prize open the CEO's wallet and chairman's wallet and go out and buy high pace mids for the Ramble Amigos.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't complaining. Bob and Sid have given me a phenomenal team. That's just me being a perfectionist, wanting every single stat to be perfect, But no, the guys have given me a phenomenal team. But I still think we'll get promoted this season. We might not win the league, but I do think we'll finish top 3 and we'll get promoted. So let's see how it goes.
Well, how does if you do get promoted, how does that team look compared to other teams in sort of platinum? Obviously, Brian, you got promoted a couple of seasons ago. Same for you, Sid. Do you think that team, as it stands, could compete if you find sort of like good tactics that work for it next season in platinum?
Sid's the best man to answer that.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, we probably are like 3 to 4 players away from a solid plat squad, to be honest. Right now, we have solid wingers. I think they're 91 and 93 rated. We got a couple of midfielders who are 92 rated.
Yeah.
Our defensive line is really stacked as well. So yeah, I mean, maybe a couple of pacey center midfielders, and I know Bob had to get the LM arm out to his Gondo squad this season, but if they come back, I mean, it is a very competitive plat squad. It could definitely at least finish somewhere mid-table. We may need to add 1 or 2 pieces, but outside of that, it is capable for sure.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see how you match up against like Finn's Keto team, right? Because they're I think 91 average.
I think lost you for a second, Sid, or did you lose me? I don't know.
No, Sid was there.
Oh, so maybe it was just me. It was gone.
Yeah. I'd be curious.
So sorry, Sid. I think I missed half of what you were saying there.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious how the Amigos would do. Sorry.
But yeah, no. So we made some changes mid-season, didn't we? I took a centre back down to the D-Gens, and I gave Bob 3 guys for his Gondo team. So we've weakened the Amigos a bit, but I don't think it's a big problem because it just gives me less formations to rotate into. But that's probably a good thing, really. So we'll see. But I think we'll do well second half of the season.
Sorry, Brian, you were going to say something then as well.
Yeah, I don't know if you could hear me okay, Kev, but I was saying I'd be curious to see how Amigos do against... Is he on mute, or can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you, okay. Yeah. I think he's going off for a fag now, but yeah.
Oh, I see, okay. I'd be curious to see how they do against like Finn's team, because I think that's probably where Finn's at. It's a good solid plat team. A little bit light for Diamond. I don't know if there's anything he really could have done with that team to stay up. But yeah, Amigos seem close. I don't imagine they wouldn't need that many changes, but so much just seems how you play it and who ends up in your in your division.
I mean, Finn's got a clear kind of philosophy, right? His center backs are even like high pace center backs. So every position you look at for Finn's team, they would either have like at least like 85 plus pace, even if it's a midfielder or center back. So that's why I think he tends to play a really high line, and just the consistent like 3-5-2 that he's managed to find a way for it to work in plat. I mean, we still should be able to compete though. I know Bob has acquired like a couple more players mid-season that might be available for plat. So yeah, hopefully we push through to plat this season, and then once we are there, we should be able to reinforce it with a couple more like key pieces, so Kev can go at it.
I just having a look at Finn's team now. He's got a really thin squad, hasn't he? Actually, he's got. I mean, it's a 17-man squad, but within
he
that,
downsized though. I think he ended up loaning a couple of guys mid-season because he kind of gave.
okay,
Yeah, I got one of his CMs actually, who's been really helpful.
Yeah. I mean, it's as you said, it's a decent squad, but if you take the top players out of there, they sort of, it does balance up quite well against sort of the Ramble Amigos. I guess what I'm driving at is I'd love to see Kev in Diamond as well with the rest of you, like with the Ramble Amigos managing that team. That would just be fun, but maybe not for Kev, because obviously the best players wouldn't be going in there. They would be going into.
There he is, right on time.
Hey.
Amigos.
Nice.
What's up, ladies?
How are you, sir?
Hey, we're doing well, man. Getting ready for some big matches here. Okay, yeah, Brian, let's go. Sid, big Rumble, guys.
How are you, sir? Are you well?
What's that?
How are you? Are you well?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. Got my Korea national jersey from 2004 World Cup rocking here, ready to go. Trying to get a big W here, guys.
Nice, yeah.
Awesome.
For people that are watching, I'm sure everybody that's watching knows, but Bob, aka Orangefly, is currently top of the pile, top of the pyramid, top of the whole shebang. The pyramid goes like that, sitting at the top at the moment with a nice little cushion. Is Bob.
Don't say that. Don't say that. I'll
You're
lose.
killing him. You're killing him.
It's your fault. It's your fault when I lose today. Damn you. Damn you. Because I have to win today because I'm playing Brian next. And like, I just can't score goals against him. And I'm begging him to rotate because I just want to score goals. But that's not how this game works. So I have to get lucky.
Yeah, I was hoping I could rotate, but yeah, you have to earn it tomorrow, I guess.
Yes, sir, dude. That's how we do it, man. I mean, just like last season, it just, as long as my guy doesn't get a red card in the first 3 minutes of the match, it could be a good game.
Was that
we were
against
talking
you?
about red
Was that
cards,
against
too.
Sao Paulo at the end of last season?
Sure was.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
second
remember
to last
watching that game live, and it was just heartbreaking. It's like Bob just needed 3 points. He's playing a team who he should be, and that's when it's like just the game. You were hammering him, and then it all just fell apart. Oh God!
It was a critical win for us, but I felt bad. I mean, when that win, I was like, oh, it kept us up, but I felt so bad for Bob at the same time. If anybody to take points from,
I can handle losing a game. Like Brian and Sid are two of the tougher opponents because I don't know what they're going to do and how they're going to attack me. Because
I said that earlier.
Both of them go really strong counter against me. Because if anybody has watched me play in the last few years, like I give zero dump trucks about defense, and I'm all offense. All offense. And so if you can shut that down, you can counter. And that's what Brian does. And that's what Sid does. And man, when Fortunato's streaking down the side against me, I'm just like, oh, that's a goal. Like 100%. And same thing with Gomez now and Brian's team. It's like, oh man, like I know what's happening. I don't want to watch it. But I just have to hope that Beckman does Beckman-like things. So yeah, man, it's fun. It's exciting. No matter what happens, it's been a great season so far.
Yeah. I remember checking in, like, Bob, at the start of the season. Was it like a mixed bag right at the start? And since then, you've just been on a tear. Did you have like a couple of draws or a draw and a loss right at the start of the season? And then since then, you've just been smashing it.
I sucked at the start of the season. I had a last-minute equalizer against Big Will in a game that he dominated. Like, I did not play well at all. And then I came out against Frage and Roma, and he just blew me apart. I scored an equalizer in like the 91st minute. And then my stud left back, Tom Davidson, just like, you know what? We don't want to win today, and we don't want to draw today. So I'm going to kick the ball in my own net. And so I scored the only own goal on myself in Diamond this season to lose that match. That's the only match that I've lost this season. So yeah, I didn't start off very well.
And Beckman was a bit cold to start off with, wasn't it? And then since then, he's like just got better and better. And obviously, congratulations on him reaching that glorious 99.
Yeah, I mean, once people started talking shit about him not scoring on podcasts, he was just like, you know what? I'm 99. I'm just going to keep dumping in goals. And so I think he scored like 12 in the last like 5 or 6 games. So man's on fire. We'll see what happens today.
Yeah. Who have you got today?
I've got Manchester.
Nice.
Manchester. That's
Yeah.
when Beckman really started his run. I ran a 4-1, 2-1-2 narrow against him. Beckman had a hat trick, and I didn't play any defense. It didn't work out very well.
Yeah, he's been good this season. I mean, his team has always been loaded. But when he came up, I thought, okay, well, this is a team that I probably have to stay above if I'm going to stay up. But he looks like one of the best teams this season.
It's
Tearing it up.
just his offensive front is so unbelievably good. So unbelievably good. And I mean, what's kind of cool is that Hosseini who is his main striker, he just went up to 96. And so a couple seasons ago, I bought McBride Ace's club, his silver club, and Hosseini was on that team, Brian. And Hosseini was at 84 when I got him. And by the end of the season, by mid-season, he had jumped up to like 90. By mid-season, he just went on a straight heater. I put him on my platinum team. He went up to like 93 in that one season. And then he went off to the down. He's been playing for Manchester ever since. So that guy was just pure pace. And he was completely unfair at silver, gold, plat level. And it was just really kind of cool. And like now his team is so well structured. And I kind of feel bad because I don't know if you've talked about it at all, David, but I bought a number of players on his team that's going to come on to the Iron Pigs next season. So we're gonna have to figure out how to like get them to where they need to be as well. So
yeah, Sid just mentioned you'd been strengthening for next season already, but
yeah.
And I think that was one of the questions I wanted to ask everybody. Actually, it's like, when do you start thinking about next season, not just from a tactics point of view, but from a personnel point of view? And I know for me, I charged my wallet up today. I've started looking for a couple of options and things that I need for next season. Couldn't quite find the ones I want just yet, but as we get towards the end of the season, people start listing players that could potentially retire, and that's my trigger point. I look at a player that hasn't got the retirement symbol yet, and I think, oh, they've listed him like he's definitely retiring. I'm going to buy him, and there we go, and I dive in. But so when do you guys start thinking about that sort of stuff? Brian, obviously you've got one club, so like all your focus has to be into that one club. You haven't got a steady stream of players coming through to like replace I noticed you've got a couple of players that are retiring. Have you started planning for next season already?
No, not at all. I think probably my third season in a row, no prep at all, because I don't know where I'm going to end. I mean, I hope I'll stay up. I thought about starting to reach out, and I'm not gonna at this point. I'm not planning on purchasing any players, so maybe start looking for some key loans now. Put a little bit less stress on that turnover in the off season. But no, I'm kind of playing every season, kind of like, well, let's see, this build has gone as far as it can go. As probably we're peaking now, and I'm going to be done after this. I'll blow it up, and maybe I'll have some lower division teams and just have a little more fun. But I think it's like 4 seasons in a row we've surpassed my expectations. So I'm like, as long as we're progressing and this build still works, I'll keep filling it as long as I can. But it's always like kind of the last second. I'm not thinking about it until I find out what happens at the end of the season.
Yeah, it is difficult, isn't it? When you sort of online, it's like, do I want to buy to stay in? Prepare for diamond next season, but I'm going to be in platinum. It's like, doesn't quite work. What about you, Sid? Have you been sort of looking at next season already?
Yes. Yeah. A couple of players here or there, but haven't really started talking to the managers yet about making offers yet. I did get one player mid-season from Matt something balling. He was an RM Scar. I think he's one of the best under 25 wide midfielders in the game. So was able to get him in, hopefully. And that is, again, a long-term plan. But outside of that, I'm just trying to get some either pacey defenders or pacey midfielders. Suggestions coming in from both Bob and Brian here. So just looking at adding those 2 pieces. And even if they are 30, 31 years old, I don't think that's going to matter, because those are kind of the now replacement. So that's where I'm looking at.
It is difficult, isn't it? I mean, when you're in Diamond, the pool of players that will improve your side is minuscule, and then you've got lots of good managers chasing those players. It's and I'm sure, Bob, like, obviously you've just, every time you're sort of like building a team, you're sort of like building for a season, you seem to sort of, team has got better. This season, I know at the start of the season when we spoke, you were a little bit worried about the midfield, but it looks like your midfield has moved on. Some of you guys have progressed as well. In like your 94 rated players have gone to 95s, and the team has just sort of moved on. And like, tell us about the players that you've bought them for next season. Like, what was the thinking behind that?
Well, as far as next season goes, I wasn't planning to buy for next season. I've been doing very well with loans. And like you said, progression this season is a big reason why I'm doing so well. I think that it can't be said enough. I think I'm +9 across players this season, which is kind of wild. And I have both of my goalkeepers. I have a couple other guys that are like one stat away from going up another OVR as well. So what I ended up doing is that there was an opportunity to buy out a gallery, to buy out an agency. And it was a very stacked agency with ultimates that were ready for Diamond right now. So I took the opportunity and I'm just kind of running with it. And so like that is my prep. I haven't done much more. I listened to, like what Sid and Brian are saying, and Brian saying, maybe I blow it up and I go down lower. And so my question is like, man, Brian stays up in Diamond. Would Brian want to sell his Diamond team to me and take a bunch of my lower level teams and build up through that way and then still manage the Diamond level team with my players on it? It's like, that's literally what I'm thinking, because he's so good at what he's doing that I now have David, like 11 or 12 teams. I can't keep them all together. I have 2 bronze, a silver, a gold. It's way too much for me to handle as is. And, if there was a way for me to have a better spot for these extra Diamond guys that I have, like that would be amazing. So Brian, I might have guys alone is what I'm basically saying. So
well, I will take it for sure. I think what we saw with Scrub last season, right? For me, I saw, XVIX took that team over,
Yep.
did really well, and I'm like, well, that could be a model that would work for me. And again, this offseason, I think they're going to put that mechanism in where you can delegate teams.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like I would seriously, like if that came into place, like if that came into be, like I would strongly consider having a conversation with someone that was willing to sell a Diamond club, stock it with my players, use whatever rep percentage that you want and just run it and play it. Because part of what Diamond is the progression in the MFL that will come back. And I am not as stingy with my rev share as you can tell from all of my teams. Like my whole goal is win, but I want another place to play these extra guys. And I know that Kev and I are both fighting to get a platinum team. If we get a platinum team at the end of the season, then I'm not worried about an extra diamond team. But we'll see what happens. It's all about planning ahead for the future and me trying to grow into, what the guys like Big Will and Ronan have already had structured for a long time now. So I'm playing catch up as fast as I can right now.
It does make it, not easy for like Big Wilbert and Ronan and stuff like that, but having that sort of, stream of teams at the highest echelon, like means it makes it a lot easier for sort of keeping players, ticking along, and rather than having to stump up the big cash for those big signings, you've got players always potentially coming through. And yeah, I think like progression is sort of, such a big part of the game. But yeah, even so, like you probably, like I remember at the start of the season, you were sort of pointing out, which players could get progressed, how many stats they were away. But surely you weren't expecting this much progression, because it feels like, a lot of the players have gone up.
So it was, for me, the guys that I'm more surprised at than anything else are the guys that I loaned in. So I knew that two of my CBs, Navarro and Gerard, were one stat away from going ultimate. So they didn't go ultimate last season. So at some point this season, they had to go. So I just assumed that was happening. Same with Beckman. But, I got lucky and made a splash buy of Yardim, the cam, and he went nuts for a couple games. And he just started progressing. And so, like, the ball started rolling, and then it just kept going. And so I expected a couple. I was shocked at a few others, but I also knew that guys that I loaned in, like Ackerland, the CDM from XVIX, he was one stat away as well. So I knew that given the playing time, he could get there. Anna, Kamal Anna I got from Denag. He needed a lot to get to where he was, and he's just been on fire. Like, he is fast. He doesn't care about defense. He's just like me. So he just wants to score goals and get assists. So there were guys that I had an eye on, and there are still, like I said, David, at least 4 guys that are basically one stat away right now from taking the leap up as well to the next level. So, every day I look at the progression and I see if I can keep it rolling, man. It's a fun game. And at the end of the day, I just want to win. And these matches are very, very intense. As I know you've been watching more and more. You just don't know what's going to happen because every team is so microscopically close in talent that on any given day you can win or lose. And so, we see it with Sid. Sid's team is loaded this season, but he can't catch a break to save his life, and that's part of what Diamond is.
I find it really stressful watching, as you just said, I find it really stressful watching, since you and Sid got promoted to Diamond, I've watched probably, 90% of the games, whether afterwards or whether live. And I just find it stressful watching them. It's like, I know how much you want to win Diamond. I know how much Sid wants to do well as well. And when things don't go your way or you're not getting, I was like, oh, come on. It's just hard.
Do you want to talk about stressful? Do you know what my game ritual is for Diamond, David?
Sit on the toilet, isn't it? Where it used to be.
I just sit on the toilet. My stomach is not happy. It is just doing flips. So my alarm goes off at 4:45 Eastern time to set my lineup. And then at 5 o'clock, I'm straight into the bathroom. I'm there for 20 minutes. And I'm usually messaging all 4 of you guys throughout the course of the time that I'm there. So
Yeah, they're always stressful. I think, I'll be pacing around it's as if I'm about to give a big presentation or something. And I'm every day, and I'm I choose to do this. This is a hobby I choose by quite stressed out life.
I think I keep dipping in and out. My signal's not great. So
yeah, it is. It's sometimes I'll watch the game in slow mode just to ease into it. And then once I feel like I'm okay, I can go a little faster now, and I can take it if we lose. I can take it if we give up a goal.
But Brian, you seemed super cool last season, especially I think this was the promotion playoff. You had set the lineup. You went away to a 1-hour meeting, not worrying about what's going on. People were spamming in the chat saying, "Hey, Brian got promoted to Diamond. You were nowhere to be seen for the next hour." Comes back and says, "Oh, I did."
I was really wanted to be at that game. I had a meeting I couldn't get out of. So unfortunately, at a stage where I'm always in meetings seemingly all day long, and just time wise, our games are at 4. I kind of wish we had that extra hour. Wait a little bit later, things would kind of clear up. But no, I was definitely thinking. I wasn't chill at all. I was quite stressed to kind of see how that would go. But for sure, I think I've probably been the least stressed here because my expectations are I'm going down next season. Let's see what can happen. And I think this season was I added a couple more players. I have 1 ultimate now, and I think I felt a little bit more expectations. I loaned players from Scrub. He's actually been great. I think buying from Scrub has been a challenge, but loaning with him has been super successful for me. But I think he was like, "Oh yeah, I think you're going to do better next season," and I'm like, "Whoa, where did that was that expectations? Where did that come from? I wasn't used to that since coming up to Diamond." But yeah, it's a little more stressful when you're trying to win. I think Bob, you said that. I'm like, oh, I'm so stressed about this game. I think my most stressful game this season was playing Finn because I'm like, I need this win. I have to have this win, and I know I can't control this. Something can happen. I get my own red card.
Yep. It's when it's the way that I had to rationalize it my first season was I've done everything I can tactically and testing to think that I can't do more than I've already done. Whatever happens is going to happen at this point. I just have to hope it's enough. And it was also the idea of the first season. of I don't expect to be in Diamond next season. I expect to get relegated. So I'm going to watch and enjoy every match that I have. And that lasts for about 5 seconds until the first shot on goal against you, when you're like, no, save that. What are you doing, you moron? And like everything changes. And you're like, oh man, I'm super, super competitive and I can't lose. And so it's a different feeling, man. It's a completely different feeling.
It's not even the first shot for me. As soon as you have the highlights come up and your opponent is the one who's running with the ball, I'm like, no way it's happening this early. Right? Yeah, it's sweaty. I mean, I told Jimbo this. It is fun, but I mean,
Right.
it is.
I think I've got you all back. I can see Brian now. Sorry if you were speaking to me earlier.
Oh no, yeah, no worries. Yeah, I don't know how people do management in real life because you know, like Bob, you're talking about how stressed you are. Clearly, we're all, even if we say it, we're like, nah, you know, whatever happens, happens, no big deal. Behind the scenes, I'm like, oh gosh, I really want this win so much. And you get a goal. There's so many games where I've gotten a big goal. Every goal in Diamond is just absolutely amazing. So I think I don't even know if I scored double-digit goals last season, but every one I got was amazing. I'd be running around my house yelling, and my family's like, "What the hell is going on with you?" But yeah, again, I don't know how people do this in real life because again, we're doing this. Yeah, we got a little money on it, but managing to do it as a career.
It's when I lose, Brian. Like I usually cook dinner right after my matches. So if I lose, like I'm grabbing my potatoes and I'm mashing those potatoes as hard as it's like, no, I'm so mad at you, but I have to test more because I have a game tomorrow. Like, oh no, what's happening?
I'm starting to get a taste of that with the gold team because I just don't want to let you boys down, you know?
You got to have fun with it though, Kev. I mean, I think that I think that this is the kind of cool thing because all of us we started at the lower divisions and then worked our way up tactically through the system. And I think that a lot of people on this podcast can really talk to the fact that the difference in play and manager ability as you move up the ladder is so different. It goes up in the stress and pressure just increases so much because I still think silver is fun to play, but once you get to gold, there's just like this different mentality and the level of stress that happens. And I know it's different for everybody else. And, you know, it could be from ice to stone. And I get it. Like there's a different feeling that you get when you go because you went up, you don't want to go down, but you don't want to dump a bunch of more money. So do you give up more rev share and sacrifice MFL? Like, what do you do? How do you get your tactics? And like, when things don't go your way, when you score an own goal, you're like, what the hell just happened? That makes no sense. And so, I mean, and Kev, you can speak to it the best. Like, just the difference between playing in iron and gold is monumental.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's massive difference. Massive difference. But I guess, to your point there, Bob, it depends on your budget as well. I mean, if you've started in Flint and your ceiling is stone or iron, you know, that's your diamond, you know, that's your big game. So, but I agree. It's huge difference from playing in stone and iron to just gold, never mind diamond. So I can only imagine the stress you boys go through. But no, Brian said that earlier. Like he panics whenever he sees a highlight to the opposition, just a highlight, never mind a goal. You know, so stressful stuff.
Immediate adrenaline.
Your heart starts pumping a little bit. You get a little sweaty. You're like, man, I hope this is one of those turnover goals. You know, like,
right?
Can I steal it in the midfield? And then I was like, oh man. You know,
like, come on, be a turnover. Oh,
right. Yeah, that's literally what I'm saying. It's like, no.
That's game, the biggest games. That's why I'll watch them like extended highlights or 2D and just, you know, take it in slowly because it's just too much, too fast otherwise.
There are certain games that I just won't watch. I just won't watch them. When I'm playing Ronan and Bisconi, I don't even watch the matches. I can't do it. And I'm at that point with you too, Brian, because I get so your matches, the way that you abuse my midfield and steal the ball from me constantly, like, I swear to God, I'm gonna have a heart attack. Like when I'm watching our matches, so like I just have to hope that I'm up 1-0 at the end of the match. Is usually how it goes for me.
It's got to be so frustrating. I'm not putting a team out there that's trying to create. If we get something, I'm like, oh hey, bonus, we got some attack here. That's great. But I imagine like I played Biscone and we played yesterday, and he had to have been just so frustrated. We got to halftime. I think there was one shot at all total in the first half. And with the team he's got to be like, what the hell? What is this team doing? Right? How does it's got to be incredibly frustrating.
Yep. Sure is. That was the whole end of the last season for me, man. I think like over the course of the last 4 matches, I did not score a single goal. Not a single goal. I took like 3 shots total. And that's with Beckman, who was the Golden Boot. Like, I'm like, how? This can't even be possible. There's no world in which the dice rolls are always like this. And so, yeah, I mean, but this is why the games are played on our phones and on our computers and not on paper. So,
well, I mean, we were talking about that earlier. You get on a losing streak. What do you do? How do you handle that? Because it's tough. I think I was saying, like, if I'm getting some results and feels wrong, let me just go verify. Did I do anything wrong here? Or is this just bad luck? Maybe I got to watch the games closer. But it's tough. I think again, like you lose a game and you're just like, oh my gosh. It just feels like my day's ruined. But I think it really helps to have a group, like I've had a group, like I've been talking to Sid and Matt and Noe and a bunch of people. And as I've gone up, Bob, you and a bunch of other people, Cav, right? Anytime my result doesn't go well, I just say, forget it. Let's go see how everybody else did, right? Let's go cheerlead everybody else.
exactly. I end up bitching to Kev and Sid quite a bit when things don't go my way. And I remember after I got that red card against you last year, Brian, I immediately DM'd you. I go, can you please set the lineup that you just beat me with so I can beat the shit out of it and turn it friendly? And I did. I was like, no.
It's more of your like PTSD.
No, I'm glad that Sid and Bob put me in your direction, Brian, because I love the way you think about the game. You're a tactical genius. Hashtag tactical genius, Brian. So.
Oh, geez. Thanks. Yeah, no, it's funny because I think, like Sid, you've thrown the goat around, and Bob, you're always giving me praise. But I mean, honestly, I think going in and every game, it's like I have absolutely no idea what's going on here. I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope it goes okay. But I don't know.
You are the Jose Mourinho of the metaverse. Like
totally.
You will win a match 1-0, and you will piss off your opponent to no end.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
I'm just glad that the 4-1-4-1's been a successful addition to the Arsenal. It's been really good to see.
No, yeah, but Mourinho is a very good praise, though. He'll just play with your heads, go and hustle the midfielders, hustle the defense, get a 1-0 and just get out without any further noise. But yeah, great work, Brian. I mean,
but it wasn't planned. It was just I somehow ended up in diamond, and I was like, oh my gosh, well, I'm not ready for this. I wasn't ready for platinum. How are we gonna deal with this? And it was just, let's just duck for cover and bunker and see what we can do. And I didn't think it would work, but here we are.
It's going well for you so far. You're doing very well. Defensive genius.
Oh man.
Again, I feel like Bob. I feel like, hey, I just got jinxed. Like I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose today.
Just concede like 6 goals tomorrow. That's all I'm asking for. Tomorrow, just concede. It's like 6 goals.
I gave you 5 in the cup, right?
Yeah, you sure did, man. And I was really appreciative.
You to top that.
And then you know what I did? Like, so I talk about being offensive, and of course I come out in the semifinals or the quarterfinals of Titans against Biscone, and I'm like, I'm gonna run a defensive formation. And I think I messaged some other guys. I was like, that was the dumbest thing I've ever done. It is the exact opposite of what I do. Like, I'm okay losing a game 5-4. I mean, I'm not, but I want to see what happens, and like, I'm so upset that I didn't play the formation that I wanted. And I tried to play smart and safe, and defensive is just not the way I go, man. Just not the way I go. I thought those wing backs, my left back and right back, would be strong enough to create for me, and they just didn't.
I did the same thing. I think I mentioned earlier was last game season. I knew if I beat Naples, I was in. And at that point, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll throw a curveball and be a little more of an offensive team here. And I think it was wise that I didn't do that, because I took a step back and I'm like, that's not how we got here. That's not our team. Yeah, maybe it's predictable, but this is what I can build on. Why would I just throw a wild card out there? But I thought about it. I did want to be that attacking team, but I think, like you said, that's not me.
Yep.
That's not this build.
Do people have superstitions over stuff? The only reason I ask this is because I noticed, I just clicked into the game where Bob played the cup game, and I noticed you've got the new pitch up there, which I'm assuming is one of the winter ones that has come in the advent calendar. And whenever I'm winning, I never change the pitch. I always keep it the same. I don't know why. I know it makes absolutely no difference, but I feel like if I change it, my luck will change. But
No, I don't have any superstitions like that. I just kind of go with whatever pitch I think is cool. And usually it's the generic one. I'm waiting, like I'm praying. So with this 10-day gift kind of stuff, I'm really, really hoping that on like the penultimate day, they give me a pitch that has the South Korean national flag on it, because that's what I really want. And I want to use that. And then I hope on the last day, as a special gift to me, because I'm awesome, as a special gift to me, because Beckman is the only 99 in the game, I would love it if like the special gift just to me was you get a version of the sold jersey with your color, your kit, your patch with Beckman and 99 on the back. Like that to me, because it's so rare. Like it's so unbelievably rare that someone's going to hit 99. I think that's a really nice kind of like tip of the cap. And I think that's what I'm praying for. I know it's not going to happen, but I definitely planted the seed with Lucas and the team. So we'll see what happens.
well, it's got to be better than what I've got so far. I think I've got 100 MFL 3 days running, which if I'm a Flint team might be okay. But yeah.
The Christmas pitch is giving me a headache as I'm watching it. Like I can't see anything most of the time. Like the color differences, and like that's how I know I'm getting old. So
well, no, I looked at it and thought, what the hell's going on there? Like I hadn't seen it before. It's the first time I'd seen it, and then I realised it was a Christmas pitch. But yeah, there's a lot going on that pitch, isn't there?
Definitely no superstitions here. Like I don't think, not at all. I think if anything, if there's games, if like my family's around and they're making noise, I'm like, okay, I need to get away from them and just get to a quiet place and watch this game. I don't know if that's a superstition, but more just I can't. If they're here and they're talking, I feel like they're going to cause me a loss here somehow.
yeah.
So
I tell you, Brian, like the safest place to go is just on the toilet and tell me you got to take a dump.
hide out in the toilet, right? I've
Every day,
definitely
same
done
time.
like
There's going to be a meme of like Bob sitting on the toilet with a throne on his hat when he wins, or the crown on his head when he wins the title.
It works.
So Bob, are you going to be with us when your game goes on live today?
Yeah, I put a diaper on just in case. So we're going to be okay. No, I'll be here. I'll be here to watch it. I mean, it's against Manchester. It's I think it's the 2 highest scoring offenses in Diamond. So that means it's probably going to be a 0-0 draw, right?
Oh, that's set up, right?
I can't
should be a
believe
good
it's
one.
9:20 already. We started streaming at what, 7:20? We've already been going 2 hours. It does not feel like we've been doing 2 hours.
On that note, I probably should step away for a few minutes. I'm here in the office at work, and a few people are here still working, but I will come back. We got maybe 30 minutes or so before our game starts. So
you take care of real business, then come back to the real business.
Here we go. See you guys in a bit.
See you in a sec.
Cheers, Brian.
Yeah. So I guess that we've got to, if we're going to stream one game, then I guess we've got to have the main game up, haven't we? The big, we've got Sid versus thing. The trouble is with 4 people on, or 5 people on screen, it's quite difficult. So we'll put one game up and maybe flip between them. I'll try and open.
Rory wants to see the Ramble game, so I'll send it to you, David, if you want to show.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to see Sid and Brian play. Like that's the game that I really care about. Like that's
yeah.
It has the most impact right now. So, and I'm perfectly good just watching my own game on my phone and swearing to myself.
All right, I'll make us a little bit smaller in the corner. What time does the Ramble game kick off?
2 minutes.
Oh, really?
Not the Amigos, the Ramble.
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. Did we just like time jump? So, but yeah, it's been a fun season so far. It was a fun season last season, and I mean, I think that if you're willing to give up rev share, you can make really strong teams, and that's
Brian's
kind of like
proved that.
my
Brian.
running theory. Brian has done it, and he's been able to stay up. And a lot of the conversation before Sid and I made it to Diamond was, I just want to stay up and I want to maximize my rev share. But it was always such a balance and being so close. Like you finish 8th and you're like, oh man, my heart's beating the entire time. Where I'm like, you could give up like 20% more rev share and finish 5th, you know, and be a little bit more comfortable. And so that was kind of my mentality, David. And, you know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. The first season Diamond, you have to prove you belong. And if you can do that, then people will start loaning to you a bit. And so it's definitely a different world. And I mean, when it comes right down to it, because everything is so tight, you don't know what's going to happen, which good and bad. You know, I expect my teams to do well, but I'm completely prepared for them to suck. And I'm okay with that. I've accepted that, you know, and if something terrible happens at the end of the season, then so be it. Like that's the way it's meant to be. You know, short of me losing to Basil and Finn, I think I'm going to be.
Can Bob still hear me?
Yeah, I got you, Kev.
I think the problem's just on your end, Kev, because we could all
Yeah.
hear each other before. Like it was just you kept on like disappearing and appearing again.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm coming out and in because I keep losing someone off the screen. So I don't know if it's my internet or what it is.
Yeah.
No, I think it's just you, Kev. You keep sort of disappearing and coming back on. But yeah, don't worry, you're here now.
Yeah, we got you, man.
Well, I'll try it again. I'll disappear and come back on because I've lost Bob. So I don't know what's going on. I can't hear him or see him. So 2 secs.
Fantastic. But so yeah, David, how was your season going in general so far? You
pretty
in
good,
promotion
yeah.
races? Yeah.
Right up until the cup last 16, I had 8 of 9 teams in the cup still.
Mhm.
And I was top of the league I'm top of the league in gold, so top of the league in silver, top of the league or in the promotion fight in bronze, and in one bronze team, 1 iron team. Like the season is going really well. I really can't complain. But I've had a few key losses in cups that have like irked me over the last few days. But you know, I would rather probably take them in the cup. Because, but yeah, it's at the moment I'm top of the league in silver, and if I get to gold, I don't know what I'm going to do because my team is not a gold standard team. So yeah, I definitely will be looking for loans. I normally sort of reach out to sort of like 1 or 2 people and just get a few loans in. I don't like getting too many in, but yeah, I'll definitely be on the blower to Uncle Orangefly and the rest of the people that I've been loaning players from, looking for a bit of talent. But yeah, I didn't think I'd ever have a team that would get up to gold. I thought silver
When I get
was the limit,
sacked,
but
when I
yeah.
get sacked, you can get the amigos. You get all the players from there.
I reckon you'll turn it around. I reckon you'll still win the league.
I don't know about win the league. We're 6 points behind, but I do think we'll get promoted. I do think we'll go to plat one way or another. So let's see.
Which the Ramble are in blue here, are they? They're navy.
Should be in blue.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, blue. We're the home team in blue.
Yeah. And whereabouts are the 2 teams in the league? So the Ramble
we're 4th, which is perfect because we don't want to get promoted. So, and they're 8th, but they're only 5 points behind, so it's actually quite a big game. I didn't expect it would go 3-5-2, so this will be interesting because it's quite close overalls. Tight game. But we're doing well. We're doing well with the Ramble. We don't want to get promoted, guys, because we're struggling to get players for bronze, never mind silver.
It is difficult.
Yeah.
It felt like it's more competitive, the landscape now for loans and stuff like that. The higher up you go, you know, the fewer players, top players retiring means there's more pressure on sort of like, you know, players below that to sort of come up. So it becomes more and more difficult getting loan players in, which is why I'm not opposed to buying players. And I often prefer it. But, when needs must, sometimes you do have to reach into the market or reach into the loan market. But
So have either of you guys, Kev or David, like tried to put together unique deals like Sid and I have done where you're using and leveraging your MFL and some of your other players to get guys in as you move up the ladder?
Not yet. It really hasn't been a problem until like silver, and then I've had a couple of players that I've needed to replace. But until now, it's not really been a problem. But I could definitely, like, the higher up you go, the more that there's definitely a need for sort of structuring different kinds of deals, and looking out for where you pay people off site or pay them in packs at the end of the season, or all those kinds of things. And I certainly wouldn't be opposed to doing those sort of deals, but I do like having a pack rip, when reward packs come out as well. But
yeah, it's pack rips are fun, man. And it's just like, I want to open that 90 to 94 pack every single time, but I know value wise, it's not really there. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I think you did okay this time, didn't you? Has that guy progressed at all? Or
Did
No.
very well.
not a single stat.
he's still
a
93, isn't he? 93 rated?
He's 93, but he's like 24 years old. So, like, I mean, that's okay, right? Like,
Yeah.
he has plenty of time. At worst, he's going to be a 94. Odds are within a few seasons, he'll be at 95. He'll be on Soul. He'll be running with Soul. If he gets a few extra pace pop-ups, then he'll be an actually dominant left mid that's running there. So, like, it's going to be perfectly fine.
He's very similar to Scar, Bob. So in terms of like the overall balance, stats wise, he's like, he looks really meta, and he
Yep.
could hit like ultimate in no time as well. So
And that's the thing. So he's similar to Scar, and he's very similar to Jeremy Claire that I have as my current left
I'm
mid.
sure, yeah.
Claire is he's not a fast left mid, but he's almost the same as Lindemann. And Lindemann has a lot of potential for this team, and he's going to be running with my Diamond Squad for a very, very long time. I need him to get to 94 before I feel comfortable moving him up there and using him, because I have one more good season of Ledich left before he gets into his last season. So I'll probably use Claire and Ledich for another season. But after that, I'll need to replace Ledich or get a backup for him. I'll need to make sure Lindemann is at 94, pushing to 95 to get him up there as well. So that's the kind of forward thinking that we're talking about, though, David. And honestly, for me at least, the biggest issue is goalkeeper. And it's always going to be goalkeeper because there's just not that many of them.
Yeah, I did notice when I looked at your team earlier that one of your goalkeepers obviously is retired. The backup's retiring this season, but the other one's got the retirement symbol as well.
Yep.
And I was looking on the market earlier for goalkeepers as well, and there's really not that many big ones around, is there?
Nope, not at all. So short of me, selling a kidney to scrub for his goalkeeper, which I'm not going to do, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to get my goalkeeper in gold up to at least 92. That's kind of the floor that I have set for what I think is acceptable in diamonds, because Mackler is still going to play next season, but he'll get 10 to 12 games tops. Goalkeepers aren't as bad when they are old, but that's where my biggest gap is going to be. I don't know how to fill that.
Is there any goalkeepers out there that you've got your eye on, or you've been sort of speaking to? I guess you don't want to share too much, do you? If private conversations are going on about things you might sort of bring in for next season, but
there really aren't a lot of opportunities. Like, there's like a 93 goalkeeper that's on the market, but I would have to work a deal to get him, and it's because I just loaded up a bunch of new cards in my agency and teams. I now have tools to reduce the cost, the out-of-pocket cost for some of these guys, which is what my goal is to be. I don't want to have to put in more money if I don't need to. I'd like to be able to use my profits and then the other assets that I currently have in management. So there's, I think, Grebek, but he's older. He's like 28, 29. And this is the risk that you're always going to run when it comes to goalkeepers. It's just, I don't know what else to do, honestly.
So Bob, there's an interesting question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to name who asked this question, but They want to know if you pressurized your own player yesterday to get a 94th minute red card, or if you were going to hit them with a 1-month wage fine.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, obviously, collusion's all the thing now, right? So no, I mean, the thing is so Brea is fantastic. I was actually surprised. I expected that Manchester would have went hard against Big Will, and I expected him more to rotate against me than Big Will. I mean, Big Will is a tough match no matter what you do, but when you play a backup keeper against Big Will, your odds of winning are drastically decreased. And it's a matter of, I always try to do the logic in my head. Do I have a better chance of beating Sid or Ronan? Right? And I love you, Sid, but I have a better chance of beating you than Ronan, right? So it makes more sense in my eyes to rotate against Ronan if I expect I'm going to take a potential loss there, because I need the 3 points against Sid. Like that's what it is with Diamond. And like people talk about in the lower divisions of rotating against weaker teams so you can rest your guys. The higher up you go, you can't rotate against weaker teams because they're so good that they can still beat you. So you can't assume a win. So I go strong against the lower level teams. So Finns and Basils, I'm still going strong against them. And I'd rather rotate against the top, because if I don't think I can win, I have to play my odds. I have a 55% chance to beat Big Will. I have a 45% chance to beat Bob. It makes more sense to rotate against Bob, kind of thing. Like that's how my mind works, at least.
Yeah, you're definitely looking at those as like potential 6-point games, right? If you're in direct contention with them for either relegation or for like 1 or 2 spots within the table. So it definitely makes sense.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, it's interesting. I didn't ask him to get a red card. He did get a stat increase, and he's not very close to bumping up, or maybe he is close. I don't know. I think he is close to bumping up to another level. So obviously I want him to progress. I'm perfectly fine with him not playing against me, but I mean, it's not like he's replacing him with a crappy guy. It's not like he's going from a 95 to a 92. It's hilarious to say a 92 is bad, but I mean, he's just going down to a 94 that is 1 stat away from ultimate as well. So like I said, the differences are not too big. It's not like you have your striker got a red in silver and he's an 88 striker and your backup striker is an 84. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, it's going to be an offensive match no matter what happens.
I think it's going to finish like 6-3.
as long as I score 6 and Beckman gets all
yeah, Beckman's probably going to score 4.
Dude, I mean, I was talking to James yesterday. He goes, so 3 things are going to happen. You're going to score like 6 or 7 goals. Beckman's going to get at least 4, and you're going to have the biggest win of the year. And like the only thing that didn't happen was getting the biggest win of the year. So like super pumped about that. Beckman's been on a tear. I don't like ever since he got that 99, he's just been on the steroids. So
he's on another level. I mean, this is going to be like the basketball games that we were playing like a week back, right? The 50-60 odd friendlies, which were all 7-4 and 8-6. This could very well be like one such game today.
I swear. We've set it up. We set it up for that, but it's going to be 0-0. I guarantee you.
Right, Bob, what's a prediction for Sid versus Brian tonight?
Someone's going to win 1-0.
Ooh.
I mean, that's how Brian plays. Like, it's Sid. It's hard to use speed and aggression against Brian. He's very defensive, and his cards are all strong and physical players. So they're very difficult to beat off the dribble. They force a lot of turnovers, and Sid is going to have to stop Gomez breaking free on a break. Yeah. Like, he can't, if Gomez gets behind Sid's defensive line, if he gets behind Gandu, who is Sid's biggest gap, then there are going to be issues for Sid. So
Gomez is a monster. He's an absolute monster.
So I expect it to be 1-0. I don't know if Gomez is going to score the goal or if El Sayed is going to score the goal. Like, that's really what it comes down to for me.
Well, we've narrowed it down to 2 players. That's interesting. So
Yep.
one in each team.
See, the thing is, Brian's goals tend to come from not a lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
Sid has a lot more offensive weapons. So Lowe, Fortunato, Gonzalez, Bach, all of them score goals. So he has more opportunities to do so. He has more tools to do it. But I just, having watched my games against him and how he shuts down Beckman and Zarate and those guys, I just don't know what's going to happen.
The tricky part for me is I have 2 games tomorrow. The first one is against Milano. The second one is against Meta. So that is like the worst possible like combo that you could get within one day. We'll see. I have to unfortunately have some rotation going today. Hoping going to at least grind out a draw, but not too hopeful.
Yeah, I mean, all I know is that the times that I've beaten Brian, it's typically on like a corner kick or a set piece goal. Like these are kind of how you have to get through him. It has to be a mistake or a well executed play. You know, I haven't been able to do what Ronan has done to Brian and beat him like 4-2. It just doesn't usually happen, you know. So it's going to be watch. I mean, I think it's going to be a tight game, and we say it's going to be a 1-0 game. This is probably going to be the game that's like 3-3, and mine is going to be 0-0. So
here is a stat from Hammers. He says no one has scored more than one goal against Brian in the last 8 games.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Doesn't count Titans. He doesn't count Titans. He doesn't count Titans in that breakdown, though. I did beat Brian 5-0. So and it has to stop at some point, right? Either you stop him today or I stop him tomorrow, because I think I play him tomorrow. So no. But yeah, that is the game I want to watch. That's the most important one in my eyes. I mean, I'll be watching Manchester in my match and the other side, and so if I start swearing, you know that Manchester scored. So
we do have the Amigos in 5 minutes. They're about to kick off.
Yeah, I'm just setting one of my teams for one of the teams that's got a surprising win tonight, and then I'll queue up. I'll put the Magic on for like 2 or 3 minutes, and switch over to the Amigos.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm playing black just now in silver.
For the Retro Degens.
Yeah, 1-1. I went 1-0 up. It's a huge game. I need to win.
Your formation is set up pretty well with that Retro Degens. I know they've been struggling a bit, but I've struggled with them, Kev, in my testing so far. You are beating the snot out of me. My team is actually pretty good in silver.
Thank you, sir. Shame I can't translate that into actual wins in silver.
Just play me more. So.
Well, I was saying earlier, Brian shared this theory. Well, no, Sid shared the theory, actually. I think Sid said it before me. That we think there's a different engine for friendlies, league games, and cup games. So, yeah, there's the tinfoil theory of the night for you.
There you go. There you go. I mean, all I know is that the engine only changes when I don't score goals.
Well, Sid's kind of had similar pain to me this season. Yeah. It just his has been at a higher level in Diamond, really. So, we've had a lot of common similarities.
I think that there's a struggle sometimes between being too defensive, too offensive, and then balanced. And I don't know how I would classify a lot of the teams I watch. Brian is very defensive. I am very offensive. I feel like you and Sid both balance it a little bit, but sometimes the games that you lose, you're too defensive and you're not getting enough opportunities on net, right? And then
David said the same thing. David said the same thing.
Yeah. And then there are other times where you're just fast break scoring, but you're not playing any defense. And so like it's such a weird mix. of how to get all of those things functioning together.
For sure. Yeah.
I think I've been like caught in between or made the wrong choices in terms of that, right? Picking who to be more offensive against or who to be more pragmatic against. Most of my choices have gone wrong this season. I tried to play an open game against you the first game. It didn't go so well. I tried to go back on to being defensive the next couple of games against relatively weaker opponents. Again, not a big difference, but weaker on paper at least. That didn't go well either. So probably picking that balance or the right opponent to be 70% or 80% depth, I think is critical to getting the 3 points.
And I
Yeah,
think
I share that, Sid. Sorry, Bob. I was just going to say, I think, spot on. You've kind of owned up and taken responsibility there. I'm the same. I've made some mistakes as well, just some bad decisions. I mean, there's a lot of games I've dominated, I haven't won, or I've drew, or whatever. But there's been a few bad decisions in there as well, for sure. Sorry, Bob. On you go.
To be fair to you, Sid, you had no idea what I was going to play, and there's no way for you to guess what I was going to play. I had never even tested a 3-4-3 diamond, and I broke it out against you, and you're like, what the actual heck are you doing? And then in their second match, I had never run a 4-1-2-1-2, but I did. You know what I mean? Like, and I built my team to be able to do that and to have the players, but to be fair, I mean, I think that has a lot to do with kind of what we see. You know what I mean? So
good luck to Gondo as well.
Torres scoring the goal.
Yeah, Kurt Torres. He's my backup striker, but
Me too.
yeah, he's always delivers when he comes in. He's really helped me this season. But I've got the backups in tonight though. Like I've got my 84 rated keeper, so I'm playing bottom of the league. But they've still got pretty much a full legendary team. So
nice. We got a cutback goal.
One all the amigos.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, I've got that one sort of up as well. I'll switch over to that one as the main when this one finishes.
Well, Gondo just scored an Olden goal because why wouldn't they?
Yeah, I'm watching that as well, Bob. That was like a cutback own goal. That was a strange one.
Yeah, I mean, my guy slammed it right in. Probably the only goal he's going to score this season.
How's Monkey Magic getting on, David?
3-2 up now.
2.
Nice. Love that.
We're playing bottom of the league, but yeah, I've full rotated. We're not, pretty much rotated like a lot of the main spots. Oh, so I'll just be happy with 3 points tonight. Big Kurt Torres is doing the business at the moment.
Off the post.
Yeah, it's so intense. I love it.
It's quite stressful when you're watching your own team and watching like mates' teams as well. It doesn't bother me. I don't feel any stress at all when you're just watching random people. But when it's your own team or someone you know,
Yeah, I'm getting stressed watching all this as well.
Yeah,
especially the amigos.
Yeah, it was a good start for the amigos.
Yep, doing well against White House as well.
Oh, is that who you're playing today?
Yeah.
Yep, you sure are. Sure are. So
That's
yeah.
Come on.
94 rated CDM.
I noticed that as well. Said he looks a beast.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
That looked a disappointed David. What happened there?
No, my guys are just creating loads of chances, but just not finishing them off. Still 3-2 up though. 5 minutes left.
Nice.
Murad is so good.
Murad, what a goal. 2-0 amigos.
Yep. See, those are the kind of goals. So fast breaking, just slide it over and just drop it in. Like that's what I want to see. I see too much of the main striker going down and being selfish and just blasting it at the goalkeeper.
There was so many things that was good about that goal. Like the strength to hold off the defender, the pace to get there, rounding the keeper.
Yep.
Gorgeous goal. Love that.
4-2 up. Torres scored again.
What
Nice,
was that like a bicycle kick while he was running back? That's what it seemed like. The defender just headed the ball and he was.
I love that though. I've had that a couple of occasions where you think like because the ball's behind him, that has to be an overhead kick, and then I looked at the shot action and it was a header. I thought, how the hell has he craned his head that far back to get it in the net? But
And running back as well. That's weird.
4-2 win for Monkey Magic.
Nice one.
Hat trick for Torres. There we
Kurt
go. That
Torres,
makes
what a
up
beast.
for everything.
Man,
So
when I catch bad runs with Gondomar, like they suck.
I can't believe, Bob, you're 2-0 down and he's had one shot on target.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Like
What
I'm
the
playing
hell?
decent defense. I mean, I did lose like 8-1 yesterday. So
That's insane. He's had one shot on target and scored
Reasons.
2 goals.
2.
All right,
Crazy.
there we go. We've got the Ramble Amigos up on the screen now. 2-0 up, cruising it. What's the situation with this game then? So half time, whereabouts are they in the league? Are they like a rival? For
The Amigos, third. White House is
No, not the
mid-table.
Amigos, the opponents.
Yeah, White House is mid-table, so it'd be a big win. It's a must-win because, well, you've got Taggart, who's only a point behind me, and then I'm sort of 5-6 points behind OB and XVIX, who are first and second. So, yeah, hopefully they drop some points and we get this win. Well, he's just scored, though.
Oh, he did?
Yep. 10's finish coming.
It's never as easy, is it, in this game?
Oh, first and second are playing each other today.
So scoring.
No, I know. Taggart's against Casbah. That's a huge one. Taggart against OB.
He's winning. He's winning 2-0.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. That's really
Can
cool.
get within 1 point if second place if we manage to.
Yeah, let's see it out. Taggart's 2-0 up. How's XVIX getting on? Hopefully Taggart holds on because that'll be OB's first as well. Right. XVIX.
For him.
Oh, XVIX is 3-0 down.
God. Whew. Both of them are 3-0 down. Both first and
Yep.
second. Oh, 2-2. You got to be kidding me. We just scored an own goal here.
Oh, come on.
Fuck's sake, come on. Have you got match plans turned on, Kev?
I'm not sure if I do for this formation, actually, for the Amigos.
Oof.
Oh,
Nearly
man.
third
It's
here.
a lot of
Bloody
pressure
hell,
in the
he's-
White House in the second half here.
Oh, I do have tactical changes, yeah.
He switched or he had a tactical change right after the second goal was scored. So when he
Yeah,
was
it's made a big difference, isn't it?
yeah, that's made a huge difference.
So, Kev,
So-
when you do a tactical change, do you go more defensive when you're up by 2?
I think I
Like,
have
what
in
is-
this.
What is your tactical change?
Yeah, usually I'll go just slightly deeper, slightly lower lines, and probably more direct.
Mhm.
That'll be the main two changes. Just kind of see the game out. Well, I'm saying that sometimes I'll go controlled as well.
Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. Oh,
Just cut back. Why do you got to take a shot on target there?
yeah.
I'm a bit
All the
annoyed I've
times he
got-
doesn't cut back. That was the
Yeah.
problem.
I'm really annoyed I've got match plans here because it's went against me, I think. Either that or his has went for him, you know?
Yep.
Zuta,
2-0 loss for Gondomar and a red card. That's good.
yeah,
that's okay.
Zuta's just said he's on my tail in bronze 3. Which one's that? Is bronze 3 Monkey Fire or is that Funky Monkey? It must be Funky Monkey because they're in the. I think they lost tonight, but had to rotate tonight. Oh, come on. Let's have a last-minute winner for the Amigos. All three
Please.
Amigos on a live stream together. Come on.
Just lost.
Last minute loser.
Oh,
From 2-0 up. This is freaking unbelievable.
That
Oh,
is
my.
variance, man. Oh,
That's all the top 3 teams losing.
That's insane. Yeah, they lost. The other two lost. I'm so annoyed about that.
and if you want to apply to manage the Ramble Amigos for next season, and see who's going
it's
in.
not over yet. Oh,
Sid
maybe
and
it is. Oh, man. Too many turnovers in the midfield there.
Yeah,
Just can't keep up the pressure. Yep.
that is a painful one, boys.
Have you got aggression turned on this team?
Yeah, well, I certainly did in the starting game plan.
Yeah, his
man.
attack went from nothing to getting 20 shots off, 10 on target. That was
an incredible turnaround by them.
Yeah.
Whatever, I would love to know what instruction they changed.
Whatever his match plan was, it worked.
Yeah, that is just incredible.
Sure.
I'm just seeing this now. Sorry, Kev.
Hey. Yeah, that was a bad one.
It's like, come on, MFL gods. It's the first time all three of them have been on a live stream watching the game and you could not hand them a win. Come on.
Are we going to figure out how Brian and Sid both somehow managed to lose their diamond match against each other? Is that what's going to happen here? Like,
I know, right? The universe wants to see how we react to losing.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Right.
All right.
It's maybe, did we get any progression from it, Kev? Like, that's all that matters, right?
Zero.
I'm so sorry, boys.
Dude, don't apologize, man. This is a game, dude. You put, like I said before, you put everything in, and you're as prepped as you can be. Like, there's not much else we can do. So,
yeah,
we let the cards fall where they may.
I've just deleted that match plan. I know that.
Yeah.
That was a fail.
So, I don't use tactical plans at all.
Yeah, I've came away from them mostly.
My whole philosophy is, if you are punching them in the face, continue to punch them in the face harder.
Yeah.
Don't ever set back and let them kick you in the shin. Like, just keep fighting, keep pushing. So
I'm taking notes here, Bob. Anything else you want to let me know out of our game tomorrow?
I just like, without being able to do like wholesale changes to adjust my formations, like I can't switch off into different forms. And so that makes it a lot harder for me, because I'm not a big fan of like, okay, so I'm going to put my lines higher. I'm going to be more aggressive. You can't be more aggressive than I am. Like, I think Ledich already has like 13 yellow cards this season. You know, like, he's just like,
13?
But he's pushing like 9. Like, he's got a lot. Like, that dude, he's just like, nope, you're not doing this.
I'll be back in 5 minutes, boys. Okay, sorry.
I mean, all of my left back is suspended. You know, my right back is about to be suspended. Like, this is what we do. We get cards.
Being stressed for you.
Then I asked myself, how did I ever get a red card against Brian? And that's exactly how.
I was. You were telling me, you're like, oh yeah, I said my guy's a little more aggressive. I'm like, yeah, maybe.
Maybe don't do
for you. Never had a problem with that.
Oh man, only towards the end of the season. Only towards the end of the season. So, but yeah, it makes me a little bit more predictable. If I have cards, you know, it's my left back picked up a red card in Titans Cup, and so I was not going to go 3-4-3 against Joga Benito yesterday, but that seemed to work out pretty well.
That one sounded nice.
Yeah, I didn't expect that scoreline whatsoever yesterday.
Yeah, it's the front line. Like, it's hard to run against 3 forwards that all have 99 pace and 99 shooting. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a lot you can really do there. You know, I mean, I say that, and then Brian, like, I'm going to run like a 4-3-3-D against Brian with the same guys, and like, I'm not even going to get past half field. Like,
we've got the team news in, and can see that Los Galacticos are running a 4-3-3. Is that what you expected, Brian?
Yeah, I figured it would be a 4-3-3, if anything, a 4-3-3-A, but yeah, that sounds about right. And as expected, that currently that 4-1-4-1 is my answer for that. So,
have you YOLO'd and put aggression on?
I've got the all that whole center midfield. They're set to just balanced, and if we get to the 30-minute and we're still tied, then they're going to go offensive.
Nice. So red card could fly.
I did think about pulling that because I'm like, this is Sid. I don't know if I get tied at 30 minutes and he's got he's killing me in XG. I don't know that I want to go offensive, but said, you have to pick it before the game. You can't change it on the fly. So.
And then flicking over to Bob's game. Bob, you're going with
Don't
3-4.
worry about mine. Don't worry about mine. It's 4-3-3 against 3-4-3. Like this is like to the races, guys.
Look at
Like,
that.
this is
3-4-3 against 4-3-3 attacking. There's gonna be goals.
Wow.
That is just goals. Goals on goals on goals. Yep.
Right.
And again,
Backline against Manchester. That is.
Sid, I couldn't. My left back is suspended.
Oh,
can't-
you don't have the backup either, right?
I couldn't no because I gave him to Kev. So I couldn't go 4-1-2-1-2. Like I wanted to do that to use my wing, to use my left mid and right mid to neutralize the flanks, and I can't. So I'm just like, well, might as well be more offensive. And I was talking to Hamas, and he's like, just so you know, you scored like 10 more goals when you use wingers versus not using wingers. So just use wingers. I was like, okay, let's do that. I'm very easy to manipulate and tell what to do. So
Right. Let's make
It's 3-5-2-B. Game's gone.
oh man, I gotta see how this 4-1-4-1 works here. Man,
Fortunato is 98 as a left winger.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're also scary.
How are you so low in the table, Sid? I don't get it. Right. Anyway, let's make this big screen.
So I have this theory, David. So I have this Mbappe signing like effect on Real Madrid, right? So they were functioning really well. I added El Said into the mix. No one would do anything anymore. That's what it feels like. The team looks good on paper.
But manager managed to work it out eventually. So you've got to work out their differences, make them all happy.
Hopefully.
Here we
Let's
go.
see.
Watch it. Our game's going to be over in like 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah, one chance every half.
Bob and BFC are going to be playing for another 15 minutes.
I do notice that actually. Often I'll like be watching one game and I'll turn over and Bob's game is always going still. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely, man. No rest for the weary. We just keep running.
No score in your game yet, Bob. What's taking so long?
I've already taken like 3 shots.
There's the one highlight, which is the
Oh gosh, here it comes.
Straight to the keeper.
Don't be a turnover. Oh, okay, I missed it.
Turnover. Yes. Ooh, Beckman, let's go.
There it goes.
1-0.
Beast.
See, Brian, I told you 3 shots already in the first 6 minutes and a goal.
See, Beckman can get scrappy goals and he can get the beautiful goals, can't he?
Yeah, he's a pretty good player. Oh, there's another one. Zarate. Hoo-ha.
There you go.
That's nice.
All right.
Start.
Let's
Good
win
start.
12-0.
We're halfway through. Sid and I are halfway through the first half. What do we got? 2 shots? Oh, hold on.
Oof.
Uh-oh.
Go. Cut back. Oh,
The
that's
only
my
time
64 shooter.
Such an obvious cutback right there, right?
So I don't have him set to cross, and I feel like maybe I should. I tinkered with it, but I just haven't seen
Turnover
results.
in the midfield, Sid. That's not good.
Oof. That's a block.
Get in there. Oh, Gomez.
So, Sid, you just swallowed up the middle there and overwhelmed the cross. That was awesome.
There was like 6 guys there.
Look at the chance creation, though. There's like 0.05 XG, and the first half is nearly done. Jeez, this team just can't work.
I think that's my goal. I don't want to see goals. I don't know if I want to win. I want to see low XG on my opponent. Like that's my KPI.
Get some co-load.
Is it 3?
No, he's offsides because why wouldn't he be?
I mean, you're only halfway through the first half, Bob. In fact, not even halfway through the first half. You've already got 2 XG.
Nah, dude, I'm already 2 minutes. I'm only 20 minutes in.
Gosh,
Okay.
Bonilla back there is just a wall.
Let's do it again. Co-load. That's 3.
Nice.
Nice
That
one.
3-4-3 is cooking. The LM on the wide mids on the winger combo.
They just keep kicking the ball in the net, and I've got another highlight. This is fun. Oh, goal, Zarate. Hoo-ha.
What's that, 4-0?
Nope. Nah, he's offsides.
Again?
Again?
Yeah.
Oh, Uh-oh. Be a turn. Ooh.
It's just
That's the thing,
highlight
you just-
after highlight in Bob's game, whereas every time I flick around, there's just nothing really happening in the other game.
Yeah.
Just how I like it.
It's just crazy. Oh man.
We got a combined 0.8 xg in the first half. Bob is probably at 3 already.
Yeah, I'm at 2.44.
There you go.
Yeah, and I'm
That's
about
the thing
to.
is, I mean, I can have XG, but Sid, if one of your crazy front line get the and just finish off, it doesn't matter. If it's been 05, you can win 1-0 if you just get one big goal.
Man, your game is intense.
Yeah, unbelievably high possession, which I don't want, but they don't.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Oh, there you go. Manchester goal. Doring.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Almost turnover.
Ooh.
Watch out. Danger.
Wow. Yeah. Doring has
I'm
turned
okay.
into a really good player. I used to use him at Platinum, believe it or not.
What position is he?
He's Manchester's left wing. Oh, wow.
Get in there.
That
Ooh.
is cut back. This is a cross, rather.
That's the guy Fall. I picked him up from Finn.
Yep.
And you're
Great goal, Brian.
playing him at center mid, right?
Yeah, he's a 90 CDM, but he plays well as CM.
That's interesting.
I've
99.
noticed with the cutbacks that I get a lot more midfielder goals this season, like where players cut it back and it's the midfielder that scores the goal.
Yep. Beckman with his second of the match.
Late runs.
I mean, he has to get the
Yeah.
golden boot this season, doesn't he, Beckman, really? Like
Uh,
crowning glory on a 99 rated season.
He's back in the lead for it, but I mean, we have a long way to go up. And Gerard scored an own goal. I have the only 2 own goals this season. I was taken off the board. Wow, 3 canceled goals.
Disallowed own goal. I've never seen 3 disallowed goals in a game.
Yeah,
that
wow.
long in half. But
This is fantastic.
Why
This is-
would a known goal be disallowed? That's interesting.
4-1 Bob at halftime. Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, this team is generating like 0 offense.
There you go.
oh, look
My-
at
my
that. Tactical
defensive
changes in
tactics
from
is
both
kicked
the
in.
managers there.
Yeah.
And now I'm going into bunker.
Now,
The real bunker. Ludicrous
man.
level bunker. Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh.
Uh-oh.
Sick.
Whoa.
Oh, this is so intense.
I thought El Sayed was going to run that in.
Yeah.
Ooh, Manchester. Oh no, save. What a save. Holy cow.
4-1.
Still 4-1.
What a save.
We've still got like 50 minutes left in my game though. Oh my god,
What a
your
save
game's
by your
done.
keeper, Bob.
My second half just started.
but it's like this every night, Bob, because I'll often watch Sid's game and then I'll be, I'm about to
close
catch the
one.
second half of Bob's now.
Yeah.
Turnover.
Hat trick for Beckman.
5-1.
Holy Jesus.
Yeah, there's the 1-0. I
Good
should
game,
have
Sid.
gone right after Brian scored.
I was right, Sid.
It's
I was
bittersweet,
right.
man. If you would have scored at the end, I would have been like, well, at least Sid got a point. Like,
Yeah, I mean this team is there's something like really wrong with the setup, and I can't figure it out at all.
Got Big Wilbert in the chat saying today's been a match day disaster. How Tango getting on this evening?
Losing to Meta Mercenaries.
Hosseini, goal for Manchester. Man, there is no defense in this match.
5-2.
Well,
Wow.
Big Will, that's a tough game playing Meta. I think Big Will beat Meta earlier. Was it not in Titans or something? Or maybe in the league.
Big Will just beat Bishoni, right? Did I just
Yep.
say it wrong?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, that was today?
Yesterday.
was-
No,
Yeah.
today was Meta.
Yep.
That 4-1 is just so hard to beat, though, Sid. Congrats to Brian.
Oh,
but
it is. Yeah, it's a very good setup.
So, Brian, what am I supposed to play against you tomorrow?
Your backups.
I need to win, man. I need to win.
What are you? How many points are you clear now?
8 right now.
Meta 1, so you're still 8.
Yeah. I think I was 8. Yeah. Okay. Meta 1. How's Bisconi doing?
He won 1-0 against Basel, I think.
Okay, he probably did a
Yeah, it
full
was only
rotation.
1-0.
Oh,
Probably-
yeah, he would have gotten a full rest. Oh, shit.
Who else? DFC DO1. Oh no, Tide Yoga. That's
It's like there's a Beckman highlight of him shooting every few seconds.
Quan
guys still
from
going?
Beckman. It's 6-2.
Wow.
Why play defense when it's so much more fun to play offense?
Kev, what did I say last season? This is an attacking engine. You've got to attack.
You did? Well, you said it to me with the Amigos as well. So, and I've taken that on board. I have been attacking, but yeah, tonight didn't go well.
Oh, that was
This is
frustrating.
punishment.
Whatever that, I'd love to know what that tactical change. I know White House watches or listens occasionally. I'd love to know what the tactical change was there because it made such a dramatic impact in that game.
Well, but did it though? Because I did a tactical change, and when I went and looked at it, it was really bad. That shouldn't have been there. That shouldn't have been there. So yeah, I mean, credit to him for the comeback, but I think it was half me, half him. So yeah, fair play though.
Here is
We want 7. We want 7. Come on.
I'm so selfish. Okay.
wow. So Bisconi only.
Don't worry, Sid.
was
We'll turn it
Basil.
around, mate. Both of us. We'll turn it around.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm just looking to survive in Diamond, which hopefully should be okay, but we'll see.
You
So,
will.
Hammers, again, one other interesting stat from him. So, Brian has 4 wins out of 4 using the 4-1-4-1. 7 goals scored with 0 conceded. That is some record in Diamond.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
I've had 7. I've only had 14 goals on the season. So
Are we putting this to the test tomorrow? Are you going 4-1-4-1 against me and my 3-4-3, and we're just going to see where the chips may lay?
I don't think I'm going to run it again. I don't know.
No.
Not really
Yeah,
worth it.
look at that.
Probably
I
not.
like the mind games already.
I packed that one away. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I got to look because I have rotations because I got you and then I got Basil. Next, I have to beat Basil.
yeah.
And look at how close his game was today. Like I feel like I'm going to trip up to them the day
Hey,
after. So
It's okay to rotate against me, man.
I know,
Look at
right?
that.
Let's have a look at the other results. So yeah, Meta won 2-0. Obviously, Sid lost 1-0 in the game we watched. Bob smashed it. Roma beat Deportivo Quito.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. Finn kept that close. That could have helped me if Finn pulled that off.
Yeah. Then what? 1-1 in that game, and now Bisciani Milano 1-0. Yeah. So you've got 5 points. So what? 8-point gap once points get added.
Yeah, I mean, Eid should be comfortable with 6 games to go, right?
Oh. I remember thinking, like, obviously you weren't this far ahead last season, but I remember thinking you had it in the bag, and then just like that, like thing. I think you drew a game, and then there was that red card game against Brian, and then it just like you couldn't score a goal after that, could you?
I didn't score for the last 4 games. So
Yeah,
like
that's insane.
You can't win. Like if I had beaten Brian and Roma, I would have won the league. So there's not much you can do, and that's okay. This season, I'm scoring goals so far. I don't have Titans to worry about. I've got Brian, then Bisconi, then Basil, Big Will, Ronan, and Finn. So I need to get
Ronan to come as well, right? So Basil and Finn to come. So those are, I'm assuming, 6 points right there.
If I can get 6 points there, if I'm lucky enough to beat Brian, then like I'm really closing in. So we're getting closer every game. It's perfect world. I win my next 4 and it's all done. But we'll see what happens. So
Jesus Christ, Sid, you've got some really tough games coming up. Obviously, the Cup tomorrow, which is incredible. You're in the semi, but tough game. Then Meta Mercenaries, Joga Benito, slightly easier. Then Milano.
And
FC Manchester.
on that note,
God.
I need to go take care of dinner. So lads, it's a
Yeah,
pleasure.
streaming for bloody ages now, haven't we? We probably should knock it on the head. But that gents, that really was a fun episode. I really enjoyed that. So stressful looking at that sort of stuff, but yeah, really fun.
Thank you for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
See you later.
See you later, Bob.
Yeah, unlucky Sids. I would do some testing with aggression on for everything.
Yeah, that's probably my next go-to now. The game against Joga Bonito, I think that's a 6-pointer because he's right below me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's the must-win game, isn't it? Like,
yeah. I'm hoping to get at least like 6 to 8 points in the remaining games. That should secure. I mean, even if it's a playoff spot, I don't mind, as long as it's not an auto relegation. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, Yoga Benito will like, because he's not going to change. It'll be 4-4-2, and that's it. You know.
Yeah.
So let's see, man.
It's going to be stressful, isn't it? This last sort of, it's just like some of my teams are like fighting relegation, where I just want them to stay up. But it's just as stressful doing that as it is going for titles, I think. But whatever your goal is for the season, whether it's just trying to sort of get up into the playoffs, but yeah, it's definitely going to be a fun stretch to the season. And God, I feel wiped out after that. That was really stressful, especially the Magic game was great because they came back and after going down, then sort of pulled it around. But that was really stressful watching Ramble Amigos. Like 2-0 up, I thought it was going to be a beautiful result, and then it's just heartbreaking.
Lesson learned: that match plan has been removed. So, yeah, pain. But no, partially, fair play to Whitehouse. He's obviously had good match plan there as well. So, just gutted because it was such an opportunity. Everyone else lost. So, well, on the flip side of that, nothing's changed. We're still 6 points behind. We were that anyway. So.
Yeah, we'll see. 4 points to the second spot, right? So, as long as we are able to sneak into the playoff spot, there is still a good opportunity to get into plat. So, still 4 points. So, we'll go again tomorrow.
Massive
gold
game.
You in? Gold 1.
Gold 1. Huge game tomorrow against Taggart, who's just leapfrogged me as well. So, if I can beat him, I'll be doing well.
Yeah, so 31 points. Ramble Amigos, Park Street Maple tomorrow. Yeah, big game there. Yeah.
Then play Casbah, which is another big game. He was undefeated until tonight.
Yeah, so no pressure. Just win those two. Easy. There we go.
Yeah, no problem. And then North London Novas, who are bottom on 5 points, and then since went on a massive heater. I think they strengthened mid-season. So, yeah, that'll be interesting as well. Then Big Bull, last game of the season. So, wow, yeah, the hard games just come thick and fast.
They do, don't they? I think that the higher you go, there's very few. Like I was complaining, I think before we started streaming to Kev, that like I think my last 2 Flint games have been like, the opposition team didn't turn up, and I just find that frustrating. But sometimes I'd rather have that than having to sort of play decent team night after night, because that is just like hard work, isn't it? But
that's what I feel for the guys in Diamond, because
sorry guys, had a little work emergency there.
But obviously Finn, who's massively weak.
It was kind of cool that I could do this at work.
Basil, who seems to get pumped from everyone. But apart from that, every team is so hard,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, no, it was good having you. We were just about to knock it on the head, Brian. But yeah, no, it was really fun having you on. And I think maybe next season we'll try and do this maybe once a season, have an episode in the evening and try and go through everything. But
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no,
I've done one before. I did a podcast with Ryan. Ryan Walter did one. That was pretty cool. But as soon as I had that, I think I mentioned to Sid, I was like, hey, you, Bob, and a few of us should get on sometime and have a call. So yeah, this was cool.
Yeah, it was fun. It wasn't too chaotic. I was a bit worried, like with 5 people on, but we still managed to get games in, and whether no matter what the match is, it's always stressful, isn't it, when you're watching your game? But I'm sure you'll be going away afterwards, won't you, Brian, and looking into the data about how your game went and stuff like that. Look into it a little bit.
I'm really curious about this Hamez's data. So thank you for that link. I'll take a look and Or to test, right? I literally got like 3 notes of here, like test aggression, test center back. So like, yeah, again, you guys are all great managers, good experience. There's so much we can learn from each other. So thank you for putting this on for sure. And again, the game is fun. I'm mostly just playing it, but you guys are doing so much for the community and actually, building and spreading. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I remember when we started doing it, it was only the Wendirk, and then obviously Kev, me, Hoodwink, and everyone started doing this. But now it feels like there's different content all the time, and it's so much better for it. Like, whether it's Led doing streams or Amreezy or Yorkshire XP, there's just so many good sort of, good shows around. But yeah, no, it's great. And it's lovely doing them in the evening as well, because, it's just nice watching games, isn't it? But right.
Well, that's it. We're watching the games anyway, aren't we? So might as well do it together now and again. It's been good fun.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll try and do
quite late for you guys now.
Yeah. That's all right. What,
10
10?
there?
20 past 10. So yeah, it's all good.
My brain turns off about midnight, but I'll be okay until after that. But right, anyway.
Pleasure to meet you, Brian. Hopefully have you on soon.
What was that?
Pleasure to meet you. Hopefully have you on soon.
Oh yeah, no, it was nice to start chatting this year again. Definitely some of the feedback you've given me, man. That 414 one's been great. So yep, nice to meet you as well.
I'm glad something I've said this season's worked.
Yeah, it's been great, man. Gold.
Brilliant, good stuff.
Right. Good to see you again, Sid. It's great to see you as always. I'm sure we'll speak again soon. Brian, as I said, lovely to meet you, and you are always welcome back. Really interesting listening to you. And Kev, you're my goat. So yeah, let's try and get with your new job. Obviously, we'll have to try and do more evening streams to get a little bit of a Kev fix. But actually, I think the week after, like next week, probably nothing from us because I'm up at my mum's and her internet is just awful. But the week after, I think like Kev, you're off for work. I'm obviously not doing anything, so we'll try and do a bit of stuff that week. I'm not sure what falls that week. It might be the Masters.
Heroes?
Either way, we'll be trying to do a few things.
That'd be really good for the Masters. And by the way, that reminds me, we need to do a little teaser for the 21st. So the teaser is, are you ready for this, guys? So it's already been announced that there's going to be a club pack for the rewards. What has changed since then, though, is it's not going to just be a flint club. It's now going to be an iron club.
Ooh.
So that's really exciting. So there you go. A nice little teaser for anyone that's still listening.
And I believe there's more MFL going to be given away in the Christmas stream than in any stream ever before, along with packs, along with all of the stuff going on. So yeah, definitely tune in. And just in case, there was a hashtag very early on. I think one or two people noticed it, but yeah, that hashtag might be quite useful for the weekend. So scroll back and listen if you want the answer to a potential question. If there's a quiz, who knows? But anyway, yeah, that's all the stuff coming up. Next time you see us, we will be in amongst a sea of faces on a stream organised by Jimbo. And
there might be a quiz. There might be some duck races. Need to tune in to find out.
There will definitely be chaos. But right, that's everything from us this week. Thank you for everybody for joining us, the people that have stuck around. I don't know how you did. I don't know what we're nearly 3 hours streaming, but and awesome. Honestly, it doesn't feel like we've been streaming 3 hours either, but it's just been a lot of fun. But we shall be back on Sunday for the last stream before Christmas. Speak to you later, guys. See you later, everyone. Bye.
Yes.